Oops. Anyway, how is it, everybody? Thank you so much for the warm welcomes. It's good to be back. You're all a bunch of heroes. I missed you all. Uh, I was I was in Texas. Took a vacation down to Texas. Went with the wife and mother-in-law, and it was cool. It was really nice. It's definitely worth going to Texas in the middle of December, and that's not sarcasm, dude. It was empty. It was so nice not having to deal with people, and it was still really warm. But apparently, DSP took his own vacation from any semblance of sanity. Because holy shit, dude, I heard nothing but crazy shit happening with this dude. Uh, well, let me get this off the screen all the way. It does this weird audio lingering. All right, anyway. Yeah, I missed so much stupid shit. And I was having a lot of fun on Twitter and in various detractor chats. Just the insanity that was going on in this brief amount of time was I swear, I think this dude, I'm not trying to be like narcissistic, but I'm thinking it's maybe some sort of psychic connection. I think he has some sort of connection with me where he knows when I'm not at my computer because then he does some really crazy shit. Again, I don't think it's intentional. So we got three things to go over. I'm gonna try and get as much in as possible, and it's gonna be the interview, the new channel, and his year review, which is very, very brief. Basically, it's everyone else's fault but mine. You guys need to work on that, which is great. I love getting those kind of reports from my boss. That's always thrilling. But let's get cracking. But here's a little something that brought me some mirth. It's got a job for you, 621, Mission 8.
Got a job for you, 621. This job comes from the Daily Bugle.
I want you to get me pictures of Spider-Mech. I need them for my newest headline. Spider-Mech responsible for fire of Ibis. I would usually ask Barker for these kinds of things, but he's on vacation. What are you waiting for? Chinese New Year? Get a move on already.
Raven, if Spider-Mech really was responsible for the Great Fire,
how was
we
the
should
emerald
eliminate him
green
instead.
grass outside?
It was really nice. Are we talking about the Midwest or Texas? Because Texas was gorgeous. It was so damn beautiful there, and the beaches are really nice. Best thing though was the pool was heated and there were no kids, and furthermore, no cameras or real accountability. So I got to get a plate of Tres Leches cake and eat it in the pool, and I felt just for a brief minute like a millionaire. You know, you got all those stupid ass videos of people eating, cakes and pools and shit. Godlike. Yeah, that was probably my favorite of all the mission memes, Epion. I really liked that one. It pistol whipped me out of nowhere because I didn't expect J. Jonah Jameson to come in here and start giving a briefing. And one other short thing. This is 30 seconds. This is from LG, definitely worth a subscription, and it's thoughts on being a lolcow directed towards low tier god.
Honestly,
thank you for the donation, Sonic. I really appreciate it.
Wrong thing for sure, but I definitely got multiple volt batteries.
We had a clone outbreak. We had to put
I don't know
down
what
so
you're
many so
talking about.
quickly.
I'm
The
not a
pals are
LOL
still keeping in the
cow,
backyard.
bitch-ass nigga.
No, man, that's
Fuck
going to be
my fucking
industrial
chat.
nightmare forever. I'm sorry, I
I
talked
look
over
like
you,
one of
Dale.
these I don't know what you talking about. I'm not a LOL cow bitch ass nigga. The fuck out of my fucking chat. I look like one of these depressed, low down, dirty shame ass niggas. No, don't ever try to label me that pussy. Bro, I didn't even know what that shit was until like a year or so ago. I thought it was called a low cow.
There's a second L there. On that note, I have two low tier god news stories for you. Low tier god is going back on banning sprees. I think I think that he's been unsuccessful with getting nudes from women on Facebook, so he's taking it out on the restreamers and such. And people have been getting flagged left and right. One of the biggest restreamers, Imo, I keep mispronouncing his name. Imo, he got taken down. The other news with LTG is, yeah, he got Imo, yeah. The other news with LTG is LTG won the award for the lolcows for most depressing Christmas stream. and it's definitely worth a watch. I think it's called Dalemas, if you want to look it up on YouTube. Yeah, Mary Dalemas, and it'll show Dale in a Santa Claus filter. And it was a beautiful stream. The dude nearly started crying at some points. But the big takeaways from that stream, if you don't mind me spoiling, is Jesus is a xenomorph, which if you use his logic, you can kind of see where he's coming with it, but it's still extremely stupid. And two, it is a beta cuck incel move to spend time with your family. Definitely worth the watch. So our first video comes from Akim, which, if you don't know, is Arkham Edits. He has started doing DSP videos, so I thought it would be worth it to shout him out. Definitely give him a subscribe. He's just getting started, so he's trying to make some good videos here covering DSP's antics. And I will watch his version of this event, and it's telling about the React channel not doing so well.
The trade-off
How's it going, Amadeus?
is that I rely on crowdfunding to make a living, and for 15 years,
Is LTG a character? I never really watched him. He's not a character. That's really who he is.
For a living,
I insist to that.
Crowdfunding support. So today, if you like the content, this is the final day of the year. If you've liked 2023, if you've enjoyed all the content I put out this year, and you want to help support the new year, please support the channel in some way, whether that be a membership, or a gifted membership, or a super chat, or a tip. And the only thing I would need to say, guys, please, if you at all can, if you want to help me out the most, please tip me. Right now, behind the scenes, there's stuff going on that I don't want to really disclose. Well, I am completely and utterly strapped for cash, and it's in a bad situation because I have bills coming up. That's all great. Now, anything that you do for this stream...
It's wild. That was I just realized it took me a couple seconds for my neurons to kick in. This is from the past, because these pieces of art aren't available anymore. I will say this about some of DSP's retro fan art. Some of it is pretty damn good. Some of it. Not as much anymore. And I really hope that whoever made this has gone on to do better things than make stuff for DSP, because the goofiest part of this piece of art is this guy right here. But this all looks pretty nice. You got some pretty kick-ass flame effects coming off this guy. Definitely don't use your talents on this dude.
Well, I am completely and utterly strapped for cash. And it's in a bad
but his Arkham at Dent's head,
not
anymore.
That's all great. Now,
he moved on from Darkseid Phil, which is Darkseid Phil's fault.
So
he makes his own detractors, man.
Reset the goal. That's going to count also towards the reaction.
Go to any sandwich shop? No, not really.
Are to try to hit 735 members.
They're all toxic. I don't want to go there.
That's between this podcast and the Sea of Stars later tonight. My other goal is to try to...
Let me give you a focused answer, Lackey Brecky. He is not a pay pick. To my understanding, he was never a pay pick. However, he did do work for DSP. He did do the shorts edits and stuff. And just to brief anyone who doesn't remember the Arkham saga, Arkham, all he did was email DSP and say, hey man, do you think my work can be compensated in some sort of way? And DSP went thermonuclear and banned him off the universe. And that's where he joined the detractor side. And don't be shitty to people.
I have $50 in tips each stream, and I'm doing this stream, and then I'm doing the stream tonight. So, be great if you could support in some way, either of those ways.
The email leaked, so DSP was definitely lying when he was talking about it.
And I thank you all for all of your support and everything that you do to keep me going.
No barbecue. I had a shit ton of
I'm the rare case of someone who can keep doing
seafood, though.
Love what they do, and I have to change because everything else changed around it. That's 100% a lie. If you do 5 minutes of research, you'll get the truth and see how completely different the truth is. So many people over the years had to change who they were on YouTube and the content they put out, and I still get to make content every day that I love because of all you.
You're moving a little too fast for me. Hold on.
Rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, it's December 31st, and 2023 has been a heck of a year. All right, for me, for the content, for the channel, for the business.
Yeah, I would definitely say that 2023 is a year of DSP infamy forever. It might be the most eventful year.
I mean, should we just can we just get the negatives out of the way?
Sure, let's rip that Band-Aid off, DSP.
Negative things out of the way, so that way we can focus on the positive.
Yeah, Emic, we found a new intern. One even easier to inflict my will upon.
I think overall this year was very positive. Okay, although
yeah, I saw those Amadeus.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
What were the setbacks this year? Well, first of all, I launched...
where do we start? You had a prophetic dream, but let's just start there. And then let's continue.
React channel calls DSP Reacts, and
it's shit.
It started off very, very strong.
You know, it's shit. It's garbage, man. I can't give it to you any other way, man.
Supporting it, And I was putting out a lot of content, not only the once a week DSP versus the Internet Clips React show, but I was doing long form reacts as well. That
Yeah,
was the idea, is that
they're
channel was gonna
all
be 3 kinds
pretty
of content.
trash.
Short clip reacts once a week, long form reacts once a month, and an interview show. Right?
Interview show didn't happen.
Well, here we are at the end.
I forgot about that
2023,
interview
and
part.
The only thing still
That shit got
going
memory hold.
is the weekly clip show. You might say, well, why? Right? Why did that happen? Well, it goes hand in hand with something else, but let's analyze that. Okay? The clip show works. It's
What?
certainly not my most popular content.
Not really.
It's
It doesn't
got an
work at all,
audience of
DSP. I
people
watched one.
who
I
like
hated it.
watching the live stream and the on-demand videos or both. And there's about
Beaverson
100
Timberton.
people who consistently enjoy being members
Send
of that
Liam Neeson.
channel
All right,
and
let me give him.
submit clips
He's
every
on my
week to be
Discord.
watched, right?
Liam,
And I'm
get in
appreciative
there
of that.
with your
I like
lightsaber.
that. People want to hear my opinions on
Yeah, wait.
various
Which
different
Liam
things.
Neeson do you want? You want Jedi
Doing
or
it once a
shooter
week for a major stream works. It's not
or menacing
for
grocery store
These months have been great for
customer?
the show because we have all this themed content coming in. I noticed that.
No. Okay, DSP, your reacts are trash, man. And I'm going to tell you why your reacts are trash. It's because you're not entertaining, DSP. You don't really have any sort of insights to add to anything. Because not only are you stupid, which is fine, that's excusable. I think a lot of people are stupid. I'm one. I'm a card-carrying member myself, DSP. But you have no curiosity. Everything that you watch, he has no interest in it. It doesn't make any sort of impact on him. Oh, here's how, I don't know, wallets are made. DSP's looking at that, scratching his chin. Huh. Well, whatever. Next video. Really? You don't feel anything? You don't... Well, DSP feels about the contents of the wallets. Now, that's important.
Other different months were slower and not as interesting because there was no real focus of what to submit or what to have me watch. And when there's no focus and it's all over the place, it feels a little disjointed. Sometimes you get out people submitting drama.
I wonder if
content,
Howard
not
knows how
very
much of a
entertaining,
character
quite
he is in
honestly.
this story,
You
even though
know,
he
so it all
really...
depends, right?
He's really
So
not that
I
much
still think that is
in
the bread and butter
DSP's
of
lore.
that channel. It's what's going to keep it going because that's the consistent content I'm putting out, right? What else did I put on that channel this year? Well, I put out long form reacts, right? I reacted to some really long documentaries.
Yeah, I wasn't a
The
fan.
Jared documentary, the Wings of Redemption documentary.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about,
I
Namek.
went over and
Where's
actually
that
reacted
happening?
entirely
There money in
to the
here?
Internet Historian channel, 3 of their
Can I have this?
long-form videos that
You
were
should give
about
this to me. I'm a
45
good
minutes plus
content
long.
creator.
And it allowed me to have a whole day where instead of doing gameplay, I could just chill with you guys and talk about other content and give you my opinions on it. People really seemed to like that, right? So that content also, I feel, worked. Did it blow up in popularity? No, but it was good variety of content, okay?
But, I mean, I understand why he wants it to do better. He wants more money. But isn't that in itself kind of a good thing? If what he's saying is true. It's not true. But if you're creating this thing that is separate from all your other work, and it's a nice outlet for you to bond with your viewers and discuss things and talk about shit, and people like it, wouldn't that be good enough to do for free? I don't know. DSP's PR campaign is a nightmare. He basically yells at you and then demands your money, which then requires more PR work.
Now, also this year, I did a series of tier maker videos, and the tier maker videos are kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
It really
that's
seems like it
Derek's
depends
fault,
on the
really.
Subject matter. So if I'm doing a tier maker about food or ranking video games of the last decade, people love them. Good views, good attendance. People seem to like that tier maker content.
Oh, yeah?
But if I'm doing other random tier makers, like when I ranked horror movie villains, or when I ranked Christmas movies and specials against each other and stuff like that, that didn't do so well.
That also doesn't really make sense to me. How can you not see that that's you, DSP? The internet loves horror movie dudes and characters and stories and whatnot. I feel like that's such an easy content to have it be successful is, hey, let me tier list horror movie characters. Think of your favorite content creator. If he announced he was doing that tomorrow, you bet your ass you're going to show up for that. It's going to be interesting. However, let me ask you this. If that same content creator was going to do a food tier list after that, you might not be as inclined to watch that one. Probably not, because what's he going to say? But if he's talking about Jason or Freddy or whatnot, yeah, that's more entertaining. But DSP, of course, it bounces right off his head that the one that would be more interesting, he's failing at.
For whatever reason.
I
don't
need
think
to
it's
fix
always
my
gonna be a
business
hit.
model. I
The
yell and
reason I
demand
like the
money, and
tier
people
maker
just
stuff
ignore.
is
Yeah,
because
it's bullshit.
variety.
I try
It brings
leaning
up
into
what's
it
on that
harder.
channel every week
Maybe you're
or
not
month, having
dedicating
the tier
yourself
maker on
enough
there
to it.
gives you something new to watch. That's
Happy
kind
New
of
Year,
refreshing
Salty
and
Wizard.
Different. And And I enjoy making them as well. They're easy to do. All you got to do is find one, and then you can easily just rank it live. It's not a big deal. It's not a lot of setup.
You shouldn't brag
Again,
about that kind of
it
thing,
simply
DSP,
put,
because then
doesn't
people are
take
going to
a
throw
lot
that back
of
in your face.
content, or excuse me, a lot of time away from my other content. It's easy. You could usually tier maker in about an hour, maybe so.
Then you can't grow it about
I
them.
think about an hour, you can do a pretty decent.
Where you
tier
been?
maker,
Did you decide to take out some time
so
from
I like
live
the tier
streaming?
maker stuff. I really enjoyed
Yeah, I
that
did.
content.
I went to Texas with my wife and my
there was some
mother-in-law.
live react stuff that I did this year.
It's funny how my mother-in-law is completely the opposite of, movies and memes. My mother-in-law is cool as shit. She's always looking out for me. She brought me a big-ass bag of coffee candy from Moscow. This shit's godlike. I've been tearing through it over the last couple days. But she's cool. And it was a lot of fun. I ran the numbers on it afterwards. This is kind of related to DSP and related to his recent expenditures in WWE Champions. We went to Texas, drove down there. We did booking and everything and all that. And if I'm not trying to flex or anything, I'm just trying to tell you how it is related to DSP's expenditures. The whole thing cost us about $3,000. And DSP annihilated that kind of money on New Year's or on Christmas with WWE Champions. And this dude cries all the time about his poor, poor wife who wants to do stuff, and I wish I could take her out. Do it. It's not that expensive, man. It really isn't. $3,000, yes, it's nothing to sneeze at. But dude, you're making so much money from these idiots. You could do that. You could get the money to do that and then also cover your ass for not streaming. I don't understand. His greed is so massive. His laziness and his weird addiction to this shit is so massive. And then he disappoints his wife and then use that disappointment to beg for more money. You're a loser, man.
So, for example, I live
yeah, that's a good screenshot. Is your wife doing from Russia? Yes.
Right? And I did live reacts to some of the digital presentations.
I saw Rich.
Like
I saw the screenshot about Rich. I haven't watched it yet. It sounds stupid.
And I'll be
Coffee
honest,
candy? Yeah, it's
that
called
was some of the
Karakum.
biggest content I did
It's
this year.
Arabic candy, I believe.
Like taking the time out of my daily routine to do a live react to their broadcast as it's being broadcast live and give your actual opinions on each one. Not, oh, there's another sequel to the, oh, what's that? Oh, huh? And it's just dumb shit. What a
Hold on, let me get that again.
biggest flopped content I did this year. Like taking the time out of my daily routine to do a live react to their broadcast as it's being broadcast live and give your actual opinions on each one. Not, oh, there's another sequel to the, oh, what's that? Oh, huh? And it's just dumb shit.
I don't quite understand what he's trying to say here with this. Whenever he complains about this crap, it shows that DSP, of course, sees everything in a world of extremes. Every single time a React content creator, another great screenshot right here. This is DSP listening to me drone on and on. I apologize. I'll try and wrap it up, dude. Whenever he talks about these content creators, he's always screaming about how they're flipping out at the camera and, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Animaniacs all over the place. But for real, I don't really see it that often. And whenever they do freak out about something, it's usually because they seem to be genuinely excited for it. They seem to truly be interested in it. And what's wrong with being excited about something? DSP has an issue with people being excited for stuff. Whenever people ask him, hey man, are you excited for this game that's coming out in, say, June? Well, June's, 6 months away? I'm not really excited for stuff that far away. Cool. Thank you, DSP. I'm going to go ask someone who has the potential to maybe get excited about something. You don't mind, do you?
What a fucking idiot. Wow. And so.
Yeah, Salty Wizard. That's why the clones are offline right now.
It didn't work. I'm telling you.
Kind of cleaning house.
Let me give you some perspective here. First,
my hand is going near my neck, if you get what I'm saying.
Because it might not have been. I did a live react, and then I did my recap reactions.
That's cool to Human Centipede.
Overall, my recap reactions.
Popcorn tubs. Hot damn.
Did
Caramel's my
almost
favorite.
as good as the live react. Okay? But the point I'm making here is the stream did poorly.
Yeah. That's you.
On the React channel, stream support. Why? Because the vast majority of videos I put out on the React channel get claimed by third parties. When I'm doing a live react to an Xbox press conference, something in that conference is going to get claimed, and I get no money on that on-demand video at all. Zero. I will never make ad revenue or anything after the fact on that video. I will only make profit on memberships, super chats during the live stream, and tips during the live stream. And the only thing I would need to...
Only. Let me get that right. You said only, and you listed quite a few avenues through which people can give you money. The one thing he didn't list was ad revenue. And if I'm understanding this correctly, according to DSP, ad revenue is essentially nothing. That's what he's brought up multiple times, that ad revenue, if he required ad revenue and not tips and whatnot, he would be homeless. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's essentially what DSP has said. So why does he care so much about it? Are the clones deactivated? That's a polite way of saying it. We're, resetting. We're holding down the reset button. But he talks about ad revenue whenever he needs to, as though it's the thing keeping the lights on. However, whenever he's wanting tips, dude, ad revenue doesn't do anything for me. That's what, a couple nickels? What am I going to do with that? I need tips today. You're not making any sense, man. Is it important or not? And I suppose DSP would say, well, every little bit helps. Then why do you complain about it then? Because I need money.
Please, if you at all can, if you want to help me out the most, please.
Despite what he does to his wife, she's going to stay with him
the
because
she
has a roof over her head.
The
She's not going
reaction
anywhere.
I did after got more engagement and support. So why did I even do the live react?
I agree.
Was my whole day.
I agree, DSP.
My whole day was taken up by doing the live react. I'm only one guy.
Thank God.
I were a team, right? If I were
Thank God there's only one clone active at a
if I
time.
was someone who had a whole network of people working behind me, editing and figuring all this shit out, then maybe yes. But I'm one dude. I've always been a one-man show. I'm always going to be a one-man show. I want to emphasize something, though. I want to say a very special thanks to those of you, and you know who you are, who helped me out behind the scenes. There's a group of people.
Instantaneous clone change right there. I'm a one-man show. I wish I had all these teams of people to do things for me. I wish I had all this. By the way, thank you for all the people who did things for me. I get what you're saying, DSP. You don't technically have a payroll. I get it, man. You've got indentured servants. That's pretty hype. Cool, dude. I'm happy for you. But, being facetious, of course, it's the same thing, DSP. You still have a workforce. You pay them in abuse, though. You pay them in verbal tirades. That's not really any different. And furthermore, whenever he says this stuff about how he doesn't have a team with him and he's just one dude, it's always so handy that it still blames away things that he could do. Because a team, DSP, isn't going to help you be entertaining unless you hire a writer, which you might want to look into, DSP. You might want to look into hiring a couple writers and getting a teleprompter. That way, you're a little better prepared. But a team won't help you look at clips and say, anyway, next clip. That's going to do nothing for you.
People who regularly help me with so many different things, whether it's
redneck ogre
on these streams, or helping me with animations, or
we have to keep shoving them into the microwave.
A lost video that I can't seem to
How's
get
it going,
on
Pika?
YouTube and it got corrupted, but then they help me get it anyway, or thumbnails, or whatever it may be. There's a million things that people help me with all year long. And to those
unpaid interns, I love it.
Once in a while, we'll donate something nice because we're going to talk about something like
he has
the
a
mini
team.
PC
He's not a
issue.
one-man show. Exactly.
Thank you so very much, because being a
I guess he doesn't
show,
count them as people.
It's very, very hard to maintain a business for myself like this. It really is.
It's
very difficult.
It is very difficult to maintain a business operating so shitty.
Do this to support you.
I will agree with you there,
Fuck
DSP.
this shit. Oh no, you didn't, you motherfucking piece of shit cocksucker. Mark my fucking words.
I'm coming for you. I'm like a bounty hunter.
It's Pig the Bounty Hunter.
Find out who the fuck you are. You motherfucker. BITW awesome. I'm going to time you out. And if you continue, I'm going to say this right now. If you can.
And this is just for context. BIW was saying that the hours that he lists does not add up with a 9-to-5 job. What can you really say about that, DSP? And the math is math.
In this chat, you're not going to be here anymore. Time and time again, I've disproven what you're saying. You have no idea what you're saying. You only say
apparently my wife is being called a mushroom now.
I've been in business for 15 years now.
Or truffle.
So unless you have evidence that you've done what I've done for 15 years and you can actually accrue for the amount of time that I'm doing here every day.
No, DSP, that's not really how this works. You don't get access to more or less hours based on how long you've done business. That's not how time works. Yeah, man, I've been in business for 15 years. Unfortunately, after I've been in business for 15 years, they took away 30 minutes of my time. Now I only have 23 and a half hour long days. No, dude, time is time.
I think you should shut the hell up.
Okay.
Don't ever say that ever again in my chat or you'll be permanently gone.
Don't
It's
ever
very
question me
disrespectful.
in my math.
Why am I toxic? And then what ended up happening was the other big negative for me for 2023, the nonsensical internet drama that these idiots kept trying to
He
pull me
sounds
into
more
constantly
prepubescent
that
than
I
he
wanted
normally did at the
nothing
time
to
of
do
his throwback
with,
videos.
But they kept trying to pull
Yes.
me into it for their
It's
own
pretty wild,
personal
Banana
benefit
Jones.
and gain.
He's more
Some
whiny
people
and childish.
fooled me, right? Like the interview that I did in March with the side scrollers, where I thought the whole idea was that this was their chance to get noticed for doing a truly impartial interview, and it was going to put them on the map, and it was going to give their show a boost. You know, Stuttering Craig is someone who I have history with.
He did
I
not have
was a
history with him, by
fan
the
of
way.
his way back in the day before I was a
Craig has
YouTuber,
said that
which
he
was
really
on
had no history with DSP whatsoever.
screwtack.com. Then I hung
He knew
out
about
with
him,
at
but he didn't
so
really
many
have history about
conventions,
him.
And then I actually went to his convention as a guest in 2012.
Oh,
What was
no,
it,
you
not MagFest.
Yeah,
Screwtack
Banana Jones, he always looks so
See,
weird that he
so
looks
here I
like
am
someone
trusting
acting
the
as
guy,
DSP. It doesn't
right?
really look like
With
DSP, kind of.
basically 5+ hours of my time, and instead of actually being impartial, he kind of fools me into thinking he's going to be impartial. But by the end of the interview, he's essentially just trying to say, just spill the beans and confess to all these horrible things. And I said, didn't do any of them. I'm not going to confess.
That's not what happened, man. That's not what happened, DSP. He really does. I think that DSP really does remember things that way. I don't think he's lying when he says this. I think he genuinely has a really weird cerebral tendency where he can rearrange his memories at will and recontextualize them. I bet he truly does remember it that way. I bet he remembers that he was down in this basement cellar, right? And Craig and Adam were there, and they had DSP tied to a chair, and they were working him over, giving him a couple punches, a couple slaps. His lawyer wasn't there, and they were, had the paper on the table and said, confess, sign the confession. I bet DSP really remembers that. I really think that he remembers it that way. And whenever he complains about the interview and how much they railroaded him, I always remember that DSP, I really believe that DSP's interview, and I'm not trying to exaggerate for this, I feel like it should be taught in schools. Because I have never seen an interview go so badly for a person. DSP at no point during the interview maintained control. Throughout the entire experience, every bit of control he had at any point was stripped of him. And not only stripped of him, but he let it go. Hey, do you mind if we have Keem on here? DSP, if he was even remotely intelligent, would say, no, this is an interview with me. If you guys want to interview Keem, you can bring him on the next show. This is an interview with me. But DSP is a very passive individual. He's very weak. So he said, okay, yeah, you can bring him on. Colossal mistake. Colossal failure. Keem gets in there, pees all over DSP. DSP looks like more of a dumbass for it. Yeah, we would have called him a coward. Granted, we would have all called him a coward for not having Keem on there. But I promise you, it would have went better for him. He would not have had been so thoroughly embarrassed. He would still be embarrassed, granted. My wife was telling me about this interview, and it's extremely hyper-specific, so I'm not going to bother with names. It's not important. But what happened was this dude was being interviewed, and the interviewer was trying to do kind of some gotcha questions, and she was showing me clips of it, and it was the exact opposite of how DSP handled his interview. The interviewer was saying stuff like, well, you said this, but how does this apply to this, this, and this? And the dude who was being interviewed said, I told you my stance. If you want to make a video based on my answers, you can. You definitely can. But for now, you are asking me questions and I'm answering them. And the interviewer kind of shut down. Oh, okay, sure, we'll do it. We'll do it that way. And then the guy responded, yes, we'll do it the way you advertised. Beautifully done. DSP really should have watched that before this all happened.
And then he turned that into an opportunity to just hate on.
No, it wasn't Jordan Peterson. It was some Eastern European dudes.
And the problem is, here's what I have to say about this. All right, to kind of put a final cork in the end of it. All right. The problem with that was it didn't just affect me. All right. If it just affected me, that would be one thing. But it didn't just affect me.
Oh, right. It affected everyone else.
Every one of you too.
How?
That's 100% a lie.
How?
It did. Because all the drama
I think it's
and
more
the
like an ex post
nonsense
facto
that
retelling
came
because they
out
did
of
X. It
that
must mean they intended Y the
affected
entire
you
time.
guys
Yeah,
because it was
I could definitely
all
see that,
idiots
Matt
on
Bear.
the internet
That's very
talking
true.
about me in a negative way.
Very
people
viable.
coming on this stream trying to fucking slander and shit. You couldn't keep your head straight for like 2 months after that interview. It was just drama.
That never happened. Ironically, DSP's chat was pretty quiet after the interview. It was pretty uneventful. People came in and they were DSP regulars and they said, DSP, I don't think that went too well. And DSP kind of diffused him and said, no, it was all fine. It was all fine. And then when he's talking about how people couldn't keep their heads straight, are you talking about the pignosis? The pignosis was waning. That's the problem. People were starting to make perception checks, and that was not acceptable. You're starting to see through my illusions? This is negative. It didn't affect his viewers one iota, really. Because his viewers, I gotta be careful with how I say this because it sounds very dehumanizing. They don't have a presence. You've got Derek and maybe a couple other weirdos who have a presence, but everyone else is this mysterious shadow figure. No one's sending anything to these people, or no one's bombarding these people. None of these people have their own streams or their own things where people come to the chat and say, hey, so-and-so, hey, Jade, yeah, we saw this thing about DSP. I bet you feel like an idiot. That didn't happen.
Drama. If you do 5 minutes of
Excuse
research,
me, are you suggesting
you'll get the
filter
truth
work? I'm
and
sorry,
see
I
how completely
apologize.
different the truth
I only got a
is.
couple sentences
Luckily,
and
what
then
I
I
would
got
say is
pathetic and
by
I
the
realized
summer,
I'm
when
stupid.
Street Fighter 6 came out, finally it had calmed down, and having a summer of such great content of me focusing on that game and everything.
I remember
kinda
that.
washed
You were
it
getting
away.
pretty pissed
And
about
for
that
the
game.
second half of this year, if you haven't noticed,
Yeah, maybe that's what
I
happened, Human
stayed out of
Centipede.
all that shit, no matter
Yeah.
how much they tried
Yeah.
to pull me into it, right?
Derek
They
couldn't
want me to comment
masturbate
about
because
this,
people
they were
kept coming
talking
into the
about
Cherry
you over
Pimps
here, you
chat and
talking
bringing
about
it
that.
up.
What about the podcast here? What about this person talking shit about you here? Wow, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? I don't care. I want nothing
But
to
you
do with
cared
any of
each time to bring it
I want
up.
nothing to do with any of those idiots. All they do is create drama for people on the internet because they have no content, no talent.
I don't know
and
that,
absolutely
Sonic.
No useful anything
I don't know
on this
that
life
ending.
or existence on Earth. If they disappeared tomorrow, we'd all be fine. In fact, in some cases, we'd all be better off. Yeah, we already heard that, dumbass. Wasn't funny the first time, you piece of shit. So I don't care.
Do you not feel, DSP, that's extremely cruel to say? I mean, people have said that about DSP. People have even said that about Cat, which I feel is a little unfair. But DSP is suggesting that the world would be better off if we didn't exist. But Mr. Depression here, Mr. I care about mental health, Mr. I care about my viewers, I care about people, Mr. Compassionate Roman Catholic dude, telling people that if you didn't exist, the universe would be better. You, the person who documents my lies, if you didn't exist, everyone would be happier. All that stuff in Gaza is only happening because of detractors. If detractors, it's like the butterfly effect. We're not really directly involved, but if we didn't exist, none of that would happen. Apparently, according to DSP's mindset, we're such horrible people. Kiss my ass, DSP.
About those idiots and what they do. And I'm glad that I stuck to my guns
You should
and I stayed away from
You
all
should
of
make
that
the world a better
nonsense.
place now.
And I was able to recover from it, because I do feel like after that dumbass staged, faked trap interview, that basically it could have been a really bad thing for me and my community, but I
Okay, let's break down each adjective. Let's go through it one more time,
from
DSP.
it, because I do feel like after that dumbass
Dumbass. I would say it's one of the more intelligent pieces of work that's ever been associated with DSP. I'd feel like that's quite the anomaly, really. Okay, next one.
staged
Staged. You. What? No, dude. They told you they were going to look into some of the detractor stuff. And even more so, Craig told you, hey, if you have people of your own that want to talk about DSP to me, if you got some people who want to vouch for you, go ahead and send them my way. So that's not staged. What's there to be staged exactly? What's the performance art there? I don't understand.
faked
Trap. It all felt really real, especially Adam's face throughout the entire interview. I didn't feel any sort of fakeness with Adam. Adam seemed genuinely annoyed and frustrated even 15 minutes in. So I don't think that's true. How's it going, KB? And Trap, DSP, a trap is only a trap if you don't recognize it. If you look directly at it and say, hey, there's a bear trap right there, and then stick your foot in it, it's not really a trap anymore. It's you being stupid. I would like to see DSP play the trapper in DBD. I bet that happened a lot.
Oh, there's a trap right there. Snap. What? Dude, it got my foot.
Crap interview that basically it could have been a really bad thing for me and my community, but I handled it well. Thankfully, I didn't lose my cool. I didn't go crazy.
Is that what he's saying, Meth
Just
Bear?
moved on
Oh,
positively
no.
like I like to do.
How's it going, Ian Kells?
And has always worked.
Thanks for having me back.
So that's a good thing, right? I'm very happy for that because this year could have fallen apart. It could have been one of the worst years ever.
It
if I
was.
stayed in that line of being angry about everything. And
It was.
talking
You
about
were
it,
angry the whole
taking
time.
all the bait that they all wanted me to take, but I didn't take any of it. Fuck all them.
You took every single bait, nearly. Dude, you were gluttonous with bait. Every time someone in the chat brought it up, you bit it. Every single time. Yeah, exaggerating. But you exploded. You were an emotional disaster area for the whole rest of the year. You couldn't go a couple weeks without bringing up how Adam and Craig should be assassinated for what they did to you. What are you talking about? I didn't take the bait. I guess what he's saying is I didn't go on the LolCow podcast, therefore I didn't take any bait. No, bait is when someone says something and then you react in a very stupid way. That's my understanding what bait is. And you've done that pretty consistently, DSP. You're doing it right now.
Let them do whatever they want, say whatever they want. I ignore all their nonsense. I mean, even tried it as recently as a month ago with Turkey Tom doing a
Banana Jones,
documentary about me.
This
Act
year,
like he's all
2023, it's
nonchalantly
crazy how
neutral.
far this year
But then
shot
come to
up in the
find out he works
rankings of
fucking
worst years for
Keemstar, and it's
DSP.
The whole plot to get me on the LolCow podcast and all that shit. I didn't take any of the bait, right? We all collectively work
Thank
together.
you to Human Centipede.
Fuck all those idiots. We're just going to move forward positively and ignore all the bullshit. And it worked. Okay?
Ignore all the bullshit. Not
So,
ignored it once.
The deal here is this year could have been awful, right? I started a React channel.
Phil,
The React channel isn't
Sonic,
doing
Phil
that.
walks right
Being
through a
honest,
minefield.
it's not. I
Dude,
wish
what
it
the
was doing
fuck? There's
better than it
exploding
was,
things in here.
and it's not.
You
People
can't do that.
had
That's
their
illegal.
eyes and targets set on me as a way to create drama and benefit. And although that did happen for a short period of time,
It happened pretty much consistently,
it did not
DSP.
succeed.
Oh, okay.
They
Never
tried
mind.
so hard to pull me into their realm of bullshit, and it's not working. I'm still maintaining. I'm still able to make the content I want. I'm not being changed, right? And this is a great thing.
Yeah, KB, there's
So,
tons of
those are the
great years in
negatives for the year, in
DSP.
my
I feel it's one of those
Okay,
things where
let's talk about the positive.
it's definitely top 5. As for what else is up there, you can argue that all day. As you should.
Yes! Yes!
All right, that was a shit show, man. Every single word of that was
All right.
bananas. All right, what's the next one? Okay, this one's a little bit girthier. I'm gonna probably set this to 1.25. This is the whoa, I'm all wrong and stupid. This is from Snort Hogan. DSP announces Mike Plume documentary and rants about side scrollers. What? We just ranted about them.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Greg actually did a follow-up after the interview reacting DSP talking about the side scroller. Yeah, I saw that, big fan.
We're going to get to the topic.
They got so
Before we get to the
progressively
topic,
frustrated with that.
All right. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I appreciate you all. We're going to now get into the topic
How's it going,
that we've
Casper?
been wanting to hear. I believe Ponich says, why don't you do shout-outs before we get to the topic? Literally, I have one tip so far. That's it. There's nothing really to shout out. So I
One person isn't anything. Holy shit. Relax, Pol Pot.
think we will get into the topic now that everyone wants to hear about.
Can't do it.
All right. And then we'll get to shout-outs and Q&A after that. All right.
That's
All right,
some-
so ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
here's the
exactly,
deal.
soldier.
The
You
rumors
gotta
have already hit the
clone
internet. There's
Death
already rumblings,
Stampede.
There's already information out there. So I'm here to basically clarify everything, to clear the air, and to let you know exactly what
How many
is going
times
on.
do we have to clear
All
the
right?
air, DSP?
Last year was a very drama-filled, nonsensical year for
That's not what this guy said. This guy said that he dodged all the drama. How does this DSP parry every single drama? Perfect parry. No hit run. 2023, no hit run. And this dude said... Perfect. This DSP, holy shit, dude, I got worked over in 2023.
against my will and against my wishes. Correct? I think we can all agree. Last year, there were
I hope I'm not going to be pausing it this much. Against your will, dude, the interview was your choice. And furthermore, everything in the interview was your choice. Everything. Can Keem come on? Sure. Can we discuss this? Sure. Can we discuss this? Sure. What will did you have? I mean, I suppose philosophically, yes, everything was against your will because you didn't have any.
There was a lot of very negative talk about me on the internet, in some cases from really big YouTubers, right? Now, in some cases, being very transparent here, when I got criticized by Moist Critical, and he was like, dude, I can't believe he's saying the things he's saying on his streams to his viewers about income and stuff like that. It seems very, disrespectful. He doesn't seem like he has any gratitude. You can't say that kind of stuff. That resonated with me. It struck a chord, correct? And I agreed with
Why did it resonate with you, DSP? Why? People have been saying this for 15 years. People have been saying you do not respect your viewers for 15 years. People have been saying for 15 years that you only think about the money, that you're a bad content creator, that you're lazy, that you're disrespectful. People have been saying this for nearly decades. We're on decade and a half. Why did it resonate with you, I wonder? Was it because he was popular? Is it because this Moist Critical dude might have a lot of viewers, and those a lot of viewers, a lot of people, if you will, if those a lot of people got this impression, that's bad for business. So suddenly I care. Some jackass with what 100 subscribers, I don't give a shit about what they have to say. Oh, but this guy, he's got millions of subscribers. I don't actually know how many. I don't really watch the dude. That's a problem. That's an issue. That's the only reason it resonated with you. If Moist Critical was some nobody or some mid-tier content creator, DSP would shit on him and move on.
him after watching myself back. This is from like the fall of 2022, okay? After watching myself back.
We can't clean the air vents. No, I think we might just have to destroy the facility.
Right. I sometimes get so full of
we should sell tickets to it.
Whether it's fear.
Come watch the DSP Clone Labs blow up.
And stuff like that. Or it could be many different things. Anger when I'm playing Street Fighters, all these things. Whenever I get full of emotion, I tend to just go off the cuff and say things that I probably should not publicly say, right?
Yeah?
And I should be called out for it, rightfully. However, I felt that at that point, there were too many people who had only heard the negative and had no idea about the positive about me. Obviously, if I'm here after 15 years and I have a community who watches me every day, likes my content and supports it, I'm doing something right. All right?
What's the DSP? Is there a difference between right and correct? Can you answer that for me? Or can you tell me if something is right functionally or right morally? DSP would be able to say, yeah, there's things that are right morally and right functionally. DSP, there's lots of institutions that are still around that did terrible things. My institution, the Church of Scientology, a bunch of negative detractors said we did stupid things. Come on. I'm hoping to get a letter from Scientology saying, hey, man, you want to join us for free? It's not going to happen, is it? Anyway, they did a ton of terrible shit. They're still around. You've got countries that did terrible, terrible shit. They're still around. You've got individuals, single people who did terrible shit. They're still around. Being around is not evidence of you being a good person. You continuing to exist is not evidence of good things. That's not how it works. That's never how it works.
I wouldn't still be here if I wasn't doing something right. There's people who are here for a good, positive reason.
Not enough praising Xenu. You'll get.
Damn it.
Well, that's the thing. Isn't Xenu the bad guy?
Half of it. They only
I need to look into this more.
That's what gets thrown in their
I did get that for Christmas. My brother got me a book on Scientology. Another one.
Push the negative forward, right? And so
he's kind of worried about me. He says, "Are you planning on joining them?" No.
Why not interview me? Correct? Like, why not just talk to me directly? Because if I felt like if someone would just have a conversation with me.
Christian is still around.
I'm
Exactly.
A real guy. I'm not just some asshole who you see the negative highlights of, but I'm actually just a real person. Perhaps you'd think a little differently, all right?
No,
so
I see the real you.
The internet, and basically, the only people who contacted me were drama brokers and people who were looking to boost their own presence on YouTube. It wasn't like a Moist Critical who reached out to me and said, yeah, let's do an interview. It was like...
So, if one of these drama brokers had millions of subscribers, would you be interested in them? Well, no, because Keemstar. So, what exactly is it, DSP? Is it because you think that Moist Critical didn't have the necessary, pun intended, critical thinking skills? You thought, you know what, this guy, I can fool this dude. This dude's pretty stupid. I can convince this guy I'm a good guy. Because for some reason, DSP thinks that people who are drama people are impossible to convince. That's not true. I'm someone who could be convinced, DSP. You just don't say anything convincing. It's just a bunch of bullshit.
Review Tech USA, oh, let's do an interview. No, you already every day name drop me because you don't make your own
There you
content.
go.
You just
Keemstar is a good person. Confirmed.
You name drop me for drama purposes. You have no content of your own. I'm not going to give you more free content. You're out of your mind.
All of his nemesis are still around in some form or more successful and happy. Yeah, that means they're doing something right,
fast
right?
forward to March. And what
Alcoholism
happened was
is doing it right.
unrelated
He's
to
pickling
anything
himself.
in that realm of discussion, okay?
Real quick, I want to mention this. I mentioned this in the Discord when I was just hanging out in Texas, but went to a liquor store that was 2-story. I didn't think it existed. I just never thought they'd have that much liquor. No, I went to a 2-story liquor store, and while I was there, I was thinking, oh, DSP would love this place. He would want a sponsorship from this place, for sure. Maybe that's where DSP needs to... That's where he needs to move. He needs to move next door to that place.
Scrollers was a new podcast that was relaunching on the internet. It was a
Big ups,
podcast
Mr. Peekaboo.
that was run by Stuttering Craig, someone who in the past, over a decade ago, I had great dealings with. I would go to a convention.
Not
as a
really,
guest.
DSP. You really didn't have anything to do with the dude.
And it was his convention. He had me there as a guest. Before then, I'd actually hung out with this guy at another convention, MagFest.
That's not really...
I was a fan of their website 15 years ago.
That's not really much interaction with the dude.
So he had reached out to me and said,
Really?
hey, I know we haven't talked in years, but we're looking for guests for our show. And I said, I'll be a guest, why not? And I saw their show, and their show was a variety show. Well, their show was a variety show where they would talk about games and news. Now it's not anymore. Now they've...
DSP has never at any point changed his content up. He has always maintained that he is the same dude forever. That's why, to this day, he doesn't do podcasts. He doesn't do these little segments here. Maybe he'll do like Ask the Kang every once in a while. But he still has his camera pointed at his TV and plays games and points at his TV and screams. I suppose most of that's true. But DSP, people change their content all the time. Remember how you made this React channel?
They've actually used my interview as a platform to change their show and get popularity, but we'll talk about that.
The thing to think about here, Amadeus, is it could kill DSP.
I'll be a guest on your show.
DSP finds 80-degree weather hot. Texas might actually kill him.
About variety of topics, it'll be a fun show. Then it becomes, oh, what we want to do is we want to be the exclusive place for you to finally get that interview that you've always wanted. Well, I didn't really always want an interview. I only wanted the interview because people were talking so negatively about it.
You wanted a PR campaign,
so
DSP.
I was promised that this was going to be a fair interview where I was going to be able to say my piece about all this stuff that people say about me over the years, and then after the interview...
See, Banana Jones, they can talk about whatever they want, right? DSP talks about whatever he wants during his streams. Why can't they?
At that point, for over a month, people have been guests on the show.
How often does DSP really discuss video games? Not that often.
So I do this interview, okay? I get paid nothing for this interview, for the record. It's just me giving them over 5 hours of my time. Come to find out, was this a fair interview? No. All they had done was talk to all of my haters and detractors for like weeks. Got all of their negative side of the story. Literally never spoke to a single person about the positive side of things.
Dude, I'm feeling like Adam McCraig right now, because dude, that's so frustrating. You don't have any fans. And how I can come to that conclusion is that they never step up when this stuff happens. I'm going to go ahead and spoil some stuff because, of course, I saw ahead. You can't avoid it. Derek was reached out to by this Plume dude, or the Clume, my Clume dude. Derek banned him. He blocked him. Kevin Stiles was reached out to. To my understanding, Kevin Stiles never responded. You don't have fans, DSP. You have no one who's willing to stand up for you. That's kind of bad. And that's also your fault, DSP. It's partially your fault because, one, you've created this environment where everyone is so terrified of you. They're so terrified of going against your will. You know, you bring up computer stats and you get banned. You bring up, hey, dude, there's 24 hours in a day. You get banned. And then you're asking them or telling them to not interact with anyone outside of the pig cult. This is your fault, man. You don't let people defend you. And you say it's stupid shit like, well, the detractors will insult and harass them. I don't know. To me, that makes it seem like your supporters are very spineless. Because there are things that I will advocate for that people will shit on me for. Of course. Like, I don't think... I'll go with a safe example. I don't think Attack on Titan is any good. I think it's one of the most trash animes that's ever happened in human history. And I'm willing to discuss that with people. Maybe not here on stream, but why can't your viewers have the spine to stand up to people saying, hey, you're a piece of shit, you don't know what you're talking about? That's your fault, DSP. Don't cultivate loser-ass supporters who are terrified of going against your will and then complain afterwards. That's you, man.
All they did was research negative shit about me. And so they went into the interview with the mindset that they wanted to get me to confess to all these heinous things that I had done over the years.
Sorry, what is Berg is on Twitter? So
Wow, that's a great way to approach an interview. Isn't it?
Any of them.
Lied
I
and
actually don't
told
really know
everyone
who
that
was
the next
all
day
on there.
after the interview, they were going to have a decompression show where they play games, and then they were going to have a follow-up interview with me later. None of that happened.
I don't really follow a lot of DSP supporters. I find it too embarrassing.
Basically, for a whole day, they just...
A lot of detractors, they feel a sort of, well, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't project it. They feel a sort of glee whenever they find DSP's fans and they see about their life and where they all came from, and they kind of shit on them. And, you know, whatever, you do what you want to do. But a lot of times whenever I see DSP's fans, I just see pathetic individuals. Just shameful individuals. And the less I know about them, the more I feel, okay, it's better that they're faceless to me.
Just crapped on me and made all negative references and took in a ton of money, thousands of dollars they received from my detractors.
What's more overrated in your opinion, AOT or EG? Evangelion.
Months. It was months later. Stuttering Craig was trying to get me on the show or get onto my content. He wanted to play Street Fighter 6 with me. This guy would not stop. Basically, he saw me as a big cash cow and he wanted to keep riding.
No,
those coaches.
he liked you.
Now, since that
he was a huge fan of you, dude.
Right,
big fan. Oh, man.
They have basically gotten some notoriety in the conservative political community, which is hilarious because when they started the show, they always said there was not going to be about politics. Now the only attention they get is when they talk about politics, and they've turned it into a right-wing political show. That's their show now. All bolstered by when I was on it. And by the way, my interview used to be the most watched thing I've ever done.
I'm sorry, I find it really funny to think that DSP is the harbinger of far right media coverage. You know when what was his name? Charlie Kirk got started, and what's the other dude? Little dude, Ben Shapiro, portable individual. Ben Shapiro, they got started by interviewing DSP, and then naturally they segued into right-wing politics. I like it. DSP's the stepping stone to that. I kind of wish that was true.
The funny part about it is the interview never actually...
I find Ben Shapiro to be really obnoxious.
In the realm of what I wanted. The whole point of the
he's the poster child of selling something badly.
And
even he's kind of like DSP. Even if he's right, I still just want to punch him or just like shove him down some stairs. You're such a dweeb. Get out of here.
About that interview outside of the detractors, so it didn't really
get
to serve the purpose. But I'll say this: at the very least, basically all the bullshit about those negative things, those questions, those accusations, the conspiracies, it all went away. If you don't notice, no one really comes on my stream and talks about it.
Because you banned him instantly. It didn't go away. Are you on drugs? Also, another reason why a lot of the conspiracy theory talk disappeared, and DSP would be very frustrated by this, is that because more or less the interview confirmed it. There's nothing left to discuss with this. He said at the very beginning something prophetic. He said, "This will be the only thing you need to see from here on out regarding all these accusations about me." Because I guess in his thought, it was going to exonerate him. But for reality's sake, it completely condemned him. So people don't really talk about all the evidence about, the WWE champions anymore. Because it's over, dude. Case closed. You're guilty. Discussion complete. That's why no one brings it up anymore.
With that shit, I'm done with it. I told you guys, I'm done with those topics. We're done with it, right? So, after that...
Yeah, exactly, Shiny.
My philosophy to stay out of...
Oh, man, I'd like to see DSP. That was what he was going to be for Halloween. He was going to be Ben Shapiro.
I want to interview Phil and this or that. Even, what's his name? Mudahar or whatever.
Okay, remember a long time ago I mentioned that you could do a series on locales with the Venn diagram and see where certain locales blend together? You could do an easy one with DSP and Ben Shapiro.
I got people in my chat saying that, Sekiro is the best game ever made. That's impossible. Technically, logically, you can't have the best thing ever. That's just impossible.
Thank you, Shapiro. I appreciate your time.
He reached out to me. Oh, I'm going to pay you $5,000 for an interview. And I said, I don't want your money. I'll do an interview, but we're not talking about this drama. I've already addressed it. All the conspiracies are just that. I'm not wasting my time.
You've addressed it, DSP. You were
interesting topics.
I'm super guilty.
The moment you bring up drama, I'm gone. And then he ghosted me and never contacted me ever again. Because all these people want is drama. They don't actually want to talk about facts like fucking mature adults. All they want is milk drama so they can make money on YouTube. They're all fucking greedy. So anyway, I stayed out of it. Completely, 100%.
No, you did not.
Anymore,
But continue.
2023, and things went smoothly. However, there were still people who tried to pull me in, right?
Yeah, and you
They tried
responded to
get me
them
on a
every
fucking
time.
podcast that I was never involved in whatsoever, and they lied about that and tried to make shit up and talking shit about me. People
I feel like
making
the SS interview just
documentaries
confirmed
about
what we exactly,
me, which is
BRJ. It's
hilarious. The
over.
whole
There's
term
nothing left to
documentary is hilarious
discuss.
because if all you do is research shit that's already on the internet and you regurgitate it into a 2-hour
The sad
video,
thing with that
and
meth
all you
bear
do
is
add
at
a
one
little bit of
point that
commentary, that's not a
Dave walks
documentary.
away and you hear a
Everyone else
single
did work
gunshot.
for you. All you did was regurgitate
man.
the toxicity and the conspiracy. You added really nothing besides a little bit of commentary on top. That's not a documentary. It doesn't even add anything. All it does is kind of summarize all the negative shit people have said. That's the toxicity documentary. Everyone else did work for you. All you did was regurgitate the toxicity and the conspiracy. You added really nothing besides a little bit of commentary on top. That's not a documentary.
It's not a documentary. Hold on a second. I'm going to be really petty here for a second. Who were those dudes in Japan? Shinriko, was that they were called? Yeah. So I'm going to bring this up here. Here's my search results. Shinrikyo documentary. See what that's about. Doomsday Cult, how a false messiah, dark side Japan, changed Japan forever. Documentary. Okay, so I assume... I'm not actually going to watch this. I'm going to assume at some point they interview the dude. They interviewed this guy who's the reincarnation of Jesus. I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's in the timestamps. What? They didn't interview him? Well, that's not fair. You know, you got all these negative shitheads saying that, oh, did you guys hear that this guy who thought he was the reincarnation of Jesus gassed a subway? Yeah, man, that's all conspiracy theories. We should definitely talk to the real dude and see what he thinks. DSP, do you not know how documentaries work? You can not talk to the dude at all. Well, some of them you can't. You can't talk to Napoleon. But even a lot of celebrities, you have Michael Jordan documentaries. They never talk to the dude. You've got documentaries of people who are in prison. Nobody talks to these dudes. A lot of Charles Manson, that's what made those Charles Manson interviews so wild, was it was pretty rare that you were able to talk to someone who did all this shit. Most prisons, for whatever reason, tend to not allow it, or it's against their interest to do these interviews. So that's just stupid. You don't have to have DSP there to make a DSP documentary. And furthermore, a documentary is a collection of other people's work. If I want to make a documentary on, say, I don't know, Optimus Prime, and I mean that as like a character, how was he originally developed, all this and that, I can reference the work of designers, or I can reference the work of other writers. I can reference that and make my documentary, and that's still perfectly fine. But DSP has this weird thing where he sees documentaries about him as a sort of tribunal, and he is not being represented fairly in these trials because he's not there. He doesn't have his lawyer there, so you can't make these things about him. Well, why not? Why are you so special, DSP?
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to my little bit of reminiscing about 2023, I would just like to remind everyone I'm an independent content creator.
Yeah, Shoko. I think what happened, Meth Bear, is he ascended into heaven. I don't think he really killed him. You can't kill Jesus.
Shilling of products on my
he can't fall for that.
What you
a
see
second
is what
time.
you get. Because I don't have any of that, it means that I can be transparent and honest with you every
Oh,
single
this
day.
is the wrong video. Anyway,
It
DSP.
doesn't even add anything. All it does is kind of summarize all the negative shit people have said. So, with all that going on, right? People go, oh, will you do an interview with the guy who did the documentary and this or that? And ultimately I said, no, I'm not doing any of that.
Okay,
Right?
I guess you
And
could do that,
funny
Banana
part
Jones,
is,
but how much is he going to
someone
know
actually
about
asked
it?
me a question
Well, then
last
again, I
week,
guess you
and
could
it
ask him.
resonated with me.
We need
He
to
said,
talk to
Phil,
DSP's
all
kid.
these people on the internet are constantly talking negatively about you. Any of these people, do they ever actually like reach out to you to talk to
Why
you?
do they need to?
Right?
Why do
ever
they
go
need to?
you for information?
Again, why would I need to? Why would I need to reach out to this dude who gassed all these people on the subway? Why would I need to talk to him? What? It's not making any sense. I could just see his videos. I could talk to people who interacted with him. It's not necessary, DSP. I feel like I need to pull my hair out.
Or to get your side of the story or whatever. And I answered very honestly, no,
Oh, man.
not once. In all this time, 15 years I've been on YouTube and all the negative videos and the documentaries and everything done, not once has anyone ever made a legit effort to get my actual side of anything.
Because they don't
Instead,
need it,
it's
really.
always we believe all the toxic shit and just report the toxic
We
shit.
report
That's
all
it.
the things
Even
that
the side
DSP
stories
did
which
on
at
his
first
stream.
seemed like it was going to be neutral, was revealed to be an actual attempt.
Yeah, exactly,
to get
Jojo.
me
It's
to basically
moronic.
the shit I didn't do for their own purposes. They wanted to be the group to, oh my god, look, we did it. We got Dark Side Phil to spill the beans on everything, and now we can be notable because of it, and it didn't
Oh my
work.
God.
Because it's not, the shit they were trying to get me to do wasn't true to begin with, so obviously it never was going to work. These people were fucked up, all right?
That's
So
cool,
basically,
Human Centipede. That
I
sounds
stayed
interesting.
out
Did you guys know
all
that
of this
Optimus
all
Prime
year.
represents
But-
virile masculinity?
All right.
I learned
Always
that
in the
from
back
Chris
of my head,
Chan.
I'm always wondering, and I've told you guys this too. I don't think anyone's ever
Exactly,
given me a fair
Pathetic.
shake on
These are
interview.
all
I
his
just don't believe
words.
It seems like everyone is out for the drama. Everyone's out for personal gain. What's better? To completely spin something in a way that makes me look horrible for clickbait views that will benefit you, or to actually show me in a fair light. I'm not even saying show me in a positive light. I'm saying show me in a fair light to actually.
He does this intentionally, and it drives me wild. He very clearly is omitting definitions for words. Because what is a fair light? What is a fair representation of DSP? What could be fair? I mean, I really don't know. I don't know what he could possibly ask for here. He wants to be able to be there and live debunk every single minute of your documentary. He wants to have a split screen. On one half, you got your documentary going, then he wants his DSP Reacts. That's an appropriate documentary. But no, not really. Because why doesn't other people have that going for them? We mentioned Jeffrey Dahmer. Why doesn't Jeffrey Dahmer have the right to do that? Because that's not a real documentary about Jeffrey Dahmer if he's not there on the other half of the screen saying, no, that didn't happen. No, that's not true. That's out of context. That's stupid.
Have another side of the story to see what it's actually like from my perspective.
He's calling
to
for a
go through
jihad
this,
against
to live through all of this slander and nonsense that's happened to me for all these years, to just be a guy trying to get by with my community and having a good time.
I do remember
and
the
ignoring all
AC
bullshit,
Odyssey
and then
stream
having to hear
that
the
was
constantly this stuff is going on outside, right?
sponsored.
So
I don't remember him shitting
basically,
on the developers, though.
all
Doesn't
right,
surprise me.
I got contacted by someone who is a neutral party, someone who does not stand to benefit by actually portraying me in an incredibly negative way, because it basically, let me put it this way.
Yeah, please tell
If
me.
you're someone who wants to actually make real content, if you're not someone who's a drama hound, if you're not someone who is, again, a Keemstar, a review tech, someone who all of your content is based.
Would this be them right here? Someone who only makes negative content? Let's see. World's Darkest Colts Marathon. Are these guys negative people? All they do is make negative videos about poor Charles Manson. They never gave Charles Manson a fair shake. They never brought Charles Manson in and had him watch this and give his thoughts on all this. This guy right here completely did. I'm not gonna ruin that moment. But this guy right here, Charles Manson, he's not giving a fair shake, man. It's bullshit. Yeah, this guy. Why didn't they bring him on the show?
Based on making someone look bad, correct? If you're someone who actually wants to make legit content.
Yeah, sure. The guy who made a
actually
documentary
have
on
to be
Boogie's a
fair.
neutral party.
Because
Yeah, because
if they're
Boogie
not,
is a
who
loser.
else
That's
would ever
not
wanna work with you
negative.
again,
It's not
right?
negative if
If
it's
someone,
true.
if you portray someone in an unfair way that makes them look awful, then no one else is ever going to want to work with you either. You understand? It has to be some way where you're actually being fair to the subject matter. All right? So,
Can you tell me how the bubble
basically,
scenario was acceptable?
I was contacted by Mike Klum, who recently did a documentary on Boogie. And before everyone freaks out about this, because I know a lot of people saw the Boogie documentary and were like, wow, that documentary was not positive. That documentary was very negative. It shows all the weaknesses of Boogie, all his shortcomings.
Yeah, but it's okay
the fact
because
that
it's
he
another
basically
person.
pissed his life away, all his money away, that he's a toxic guy who falls into drama, and he has all these issues.
Was it fair?
You're right.
Was it a fair one?
But that's what they wanted to do with that documentary. You understand?
So?
That's actually what they wanted to portray in that documentary.
What the hell? What if that's what I want to portray? So we have a freedom if we have a certain intent we have with the documentary. I want to make DSP look like a shithead. Well, that's not fair. I want to make a documentary that makes not Biggie Smalls, Boogie look like a complete shithead. Oh, dude, that's perfectly fine. That's your artistic expression. Why are you so special, DSP? It's narcissism, man. It's narcissism. You feel that everyone else can be shit on for any reason whatsoever. Game devs can be shit on for any reason whatsoever. Other content creators can be shit on for any reason whatsoever. And you can make up the reason. The person that beat you on Street Fighter is a bad person who's abusing lag to make Phil lose. They're a bad person. Did you do an interview with them? Did they get a chance to tell their side of the story? Did Piece of Peace get invited, or PNF? Did PNF and Piece of Peace get invited on DSP's stream to explain why it is that they kicked his ass in Street Fighter? No. How come everyone else has to live by these other rules, DSP? It's not fair. That's my biggest issue with DSP. past all the bullshit, DSP is just a very unfair person. Ugh.
That was the whole point. To show that side of his life, which I guess they felt...
Yeah, did Pro Jared get a chance? Any of those dudes? No.
That's exactly what they were going for, okay? I was contacted
yeah,
by
solipsism,
Mike.
nasty fripples,
This
exactly.
is fascinating. There's people out there who want to see a documentary about you, but he didn't know that much about me, okay? So, by the way, and just for the record, this was months ago. This was not yesterday. This was months ago, okay, where we actually began talking behind the scenes about stuff like this.
Cooking
And
with the
basically
king.
through a
Oh,
series
God,
of
no.
conversations,
Silent weapons. Please
okay,
stop.
that I had with this guy.
It would be an explosive episode,
As
that's
I
for sure.
explained my story to him, he was basically like,
You're
"This
cooking
is
dicks,
completely
huh?"
different from Boogie. Yeah, it's not even close. My life is nothing like his.
Oh.
I'm not in the situation he's in.
You have your own shitty
opinion,
situation.
This is my opinion. Other people can disagree. I feel like
Yeah,
my
exactly.
position
I'm an
is
ace.
a
You're getting
better
it.
position than his. You know what I mean? Like him, he's in horrible health. Financially, he's distraught. He can't make ends meet. He's desperate, which is why he's on things like this lolcow show where he's getting on his hands and knees and being mistreated by Keemstar to make money.
How do you know that?
A real desperate.
How do you know? This was covered in the interview, DSP. You believe everyone else's detractors. You believe everyone else's negative statements about you, and you even say it's okay because that's the expediency of the internet. You didn't say that nicely. You wish you did. But it's okay for you to believe all these things about Keem because you want to, and it's okay. But no one else is allowed that freedom. That's unfair, man.
Way, right? That's very much not the case. Okay? With me. I have a successful business. I
No, you
enjoy
don't.
coming to stream with you guys every day. I love what I do for a living. I'm making it happen, right? I'm getting out of a horrible financial position in my life, which happened already, and I'm climbing out of it.
Did you see the
Slow
Derek?
progress, but it's
Yeah, I saw it,
definitely
KB.
progress,
I don't think that's
right?
real. That's
My
too
story
surreal to be
is
real.
basically that even though I've made all of these improvements over the years,
What improvements?
and I am not representative of what people make me out to be anymore. Maybe one day, 10, 15 years ago.
What are the things that we say about DSP? Here's a chat interaction segment. What are the things that we say negatively about DSP? And then afterwards, if you can, say when was the most recent time he did it. He really does want to believe that the him of so long ago is such a distinct person. He lashes out at people. Any Street Fighter stream, he lashes out at people. He lashes out at his viewers. Any given stream, really. He scams people. It depends on your definition of scam. A lot of people have a bit more broad definition of scam. Again, pretty consistently, he scams people. Begging. Every stream. Excuses his own maladaptive behaviors. I'm watching it right now, so that's pretty topical. He rewrites history. Again, right now. Everything that he does that we criticize, he does right now. Any given stream, you pick any one of his streams, he's lashing out at people. Or he's being boring. Or he's being stupid. Or he's getting handheld. Everything that we criticize him for, he does nearly daily. When he got on this stupid kick about, I'm going to do this New Year's resolution of not being as toxic to people on Street Fighter, he couldn't do it. Because he can't do it. That's who he is. When he's talking about, people don't give me a fair shake, they don't show who I really am. Dude, they show you more than you realize. That is you. What are we supposed to know about you that's going to make this better?
I was really bad. I was obstinate. I was stubborn.
Still
I
are.
was stupid,
Still
I
are.
said and did awful
Still
things,
are.
Right? And I got away with it, basically.
Still
And now
are.
here we are 15 years later, and I'm still able to run a business, albeit a much smaller scale business than what I used to do. But I'm still popular. I still have a fan
Exactly,
base, and
Confetti.
people
He still
talk
does
about
it.
Right? The problem is constant misrepresentation. And you might say, well, I don't get it because you already have addressed everything. You're right. I have addressed all of the bullshit. And
Yeah, you've
nonsense out
addressed
there.
it, all right.
However, I addressed it here, right? And no one listens to me.
Right,
when I say
Banana Jones.
it.
I saw you telling me
No.
that in the chat,
This
in
is
the
me
other
talking to my audience
stream
who
chat.
already. It's like what do they call it?
I'm surprised you got that far, really.
You guys already know the deal, right? The fact is, most people don't. There's no central place you can go on the internet for the story of Darkside Phil. It's this detractor content, this doc.
Why don't you have any friends, DSP? Why don't you have any fans or friends who are, talented enough to make videos that say how great of a person you are? How come you don't have these people, DSP? Or better yet, maybe you don't even have these people. How come you haven't inspired anyone to do that? There's people out there who make videos praising people. Hey, I really like this content creator. This is why I like them. And they probably feel inspired to do that. Why haven't you ever inspired anyone to make anything good about you? Do you think that that might be related to the idea that you're not a likable person? That no one's going to come to that conclusion? I would think that would be very telling, that this dude has not a single video saying, hey, this guy's pretty cool. Hell, even LTG has videos that say he's a decent person or that he's an entertaining person or interesting person. DSP has less videos than Dale. Holy shit.
Documentary that's way outdated and has outdated information. This documentary that just regurgitates the detractor conspiracy theories. There's literally nowhere you can go to say, I want to learn about Darkside Phil. Why does everyone talk about
Why
this
should they be
guy? I don't get
investigated
it.
for beating
And get an
LeBlanca?
actual answer that's
Yeah, you
fair
know
and
what?
makes
Call the
sense.
feds.
Okay? And so, after having talked to Mike, all right, the idea that we
I know
came
a
up with
Seesaw
was
called
to do a
Little Shake and
documentary
Bake. He made a channel
that's going
video
to, for the first time
saying how
ever,
cool it
and I'm
is.
going to say
Okay,
this, likely
well,
for
there you
the
go,
last
DSP. You
time
got
ever,
one there.
cover my
You
actual
might need
real
a few
story.
more.
Me growing up, what it was like, right? How I got into games, you know?
We've been over
What it was
this.
like when I was a kid, asked my parents, you know, what was it like raising Phil and stuff like that, right?
Oh, yeah, I would like to know that.
Going through the arcade days, going through the Street Fighter days, growing up in arcades, and how it became this kind of, how do they say, almost fraternity culture, and shit talking was encouraged, right? And how that carried into my competitive Street Fighter career in the 2000s, and how it became an innate part of who I was for a very
I mentioned this on Twitter when he brought up this fraternity thing about that's why it is that he shits on people online and why that he shit talks. Okay, fine. Let me believe that's true, DSP. That it's okay to shit talk and that's acceptable. Why is no one allowed to do that to you? Why is no one allowed to say anything negative about you? But you can say that this Blanca needs to be investigated and also life would be better off without him. And that you're a piece of shit, lagging scrub who's only abusing the system. You are garbage. You are a bad player. You are trash. But I can't even say, DSP, you're kind of an idiot. I get banned. I instantly banned out of your chat. Where's your fraternity culture there? Where's the shit talking? Did that work for you at the arcades? Were you able to ban people out of the arcade for shit talking you? No. That's why you do it now. It's because now you have power. It's a one-sided dynamic, DSP. You can shit on people, but no one can even raise their voice to you.
very long time. How eventually, after having a back injury and deciding to quit competitive
Yeah, I told you to buy the figure. I hope they bring that up.
a job.
Yeah,
because of
Phil.
YouTube, right? And how I somehow got
Long drag
this
of cigarette.
popularity doing content
It's
on
all
YouTube
because of that
not very
motherfucking
many
figure.
people were doing, right? The improv commentary style, and basically making it popular, right? I was the innovator of the video game playthrough back in the day. I was. But most people won't give me credit for that because they wanted, oh, it was this person or this person. I was the person who made it mainstream popular on YouTube. And everyone else decided to run with it.
Then
and change
why
it up.
don't people know you? Then why are you such a nobody? People remember all kinds of people who were actually the innovator and someone else took credit. Who really invented computing? Was it what's his name? The dude with the glasses. Steve Jobs. No. Who really wrote a lot of the Marvel comics? Was it that other dude, old dude with the glasses? No. People know who really did these things, even if other people took credit for them. So DSP, if no one ever advocates that you started it, that's probably good indication that you didn't start it. It's very hard to say, I invented the concept of playing video games and filming it. Dude, I got news for you, man. I actually innovated it, DSP. Because when I was a kid, my dad had a camcorder, right? And he set it up one time and filmed me playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I was going nuts. I was a little kid with ADHD. I was bouncing all around the room playing Sonic the Hedgehog. I actually invented it, DSP. I invented playing video games in front of a camera. So really, you should credit me, DSP. Or you should credit my dad.
And do it differently. But I was the guy who made that improv commentary style popular. All right?
Yeah,
and
that.
after
All
that,
right,
you know,
yeah,
the entire
you get what
story
I'm saying,
of how I became
Irene.
popular
Yeah,
for
Stan
a
Lee
period
didn't do
period.
everything
I was one of the top YouTubers, but then how
as
this
some
idea
would like to
sour
claim,
Republican
and that's
against me,
fine.
How it turned
There are
the
other people that were
against me,
involved,
how
and it's good that they got
affected
credit.
how these groups of detractors formed online social communities around hating on me, and how
No,
it
that
changed
footage
everything,
does
how
not
it
exist of me
detached
playing
to
Sonic
ruin the business,
Sonic
and how I
2.
went on a big
It doesn't.
decline as
It
a
was
result
lost
of
media. My
making
dad
bad
lost a
choices on my
VHS
part,
tape with that
but
on it.
just as much their actions as well. And
I
basically
wish I
doing all
had
of
it.
that
I was
in a
told that it
way
was pretty funny.
That, number one, covers facts, but also is entertaining. Because
My
ultimately,
dad
the
lost
last
so
thing you
much
want to
shit.
do
Damn it.
is have a documentary about someone that's boring. Okay?
Yeah.
That Boogie documentary is sad. I don't want to make a documentary about me that's sad.
Why
What's the
not?
point? I don't want people crying and having a sob story.
I'm not going to cry for you, DSP. I promise
it's
you.
Interesting. People have said, would you ever write
I mean, maybe if your puppy got shot in front of you, I feel kind of bad for you, but I'm not really going to cry for you,
about
DSP.
that. And then when I start talking to Mike, he's like, no, your story is interesting. The more I hear, the more I'm hooked. I want to hear
That's a
more
bad
things
sign, DSP.
about,
You should abort right now.
About how this journey happened or whatever. This is not
oh, you're an interesting guy.
A crying.
That's a huge red
about
flag
how
right there,
awful things
DSP.
are. My life is not awful, right?
Exactly.
But
Same thing with me,
it
big guy. I've
stands
never
to
heard of
reason
this
to
dude.
actually have a fair documentary about me that covers everything, my whole history, not just the bullshit conspiracies and negative shit about me. Not to say that stuff won't be in it, but to cover everything.
But okay, DSP, what difference does it make? What difference does it make to know about your childhood? If we learn about Charles Manson's childhood, which we did, which we know all about his childhood, we learned all about Jeffrey Dahmer's childhood, we learned all about a lot of these people's childhoods. What does that do? How is that the fair shake? Oh, well, you know, Charles Manson, did you guys know that his mother sold him for a pitcher of beer? I believe that's a true fact. So that really makes it okay that he, helped kill all those people. No, DSP, that's not how this works. Me learning about what childhood you had, that does nothing for me. How does learning about DSP's upbringing give me shit for exonerating him now? The only way okay, let me go into a quick aside here. DSP likes to bring it into courtroom shenanigans. DSP has only so many options here. What are your options? You are completely innocent. You are completely acquitted. You were not even in the county at the time when that crime happened. Yeah, this murder happened in Colorado. Well, dude, I was in New York. Okay, you're completely exonerated. There's no way you can be guilty. Or you could be exonerated because of lack of evidence. Well, we can't really tie you to the crime, so unfortunately, we got to let you go. We were really hoping you'd be guilty. And then you've got maybe innocent on the count of mental insanity. Oh, this dude's too nuts to even know what he's doing. Like that dude who beheaded the guy on the bus in Canada. The dude was just crazy. There's no way you can try and make the argument that he was necessarily an evil person. The dude just went bananas. And then you could also have, you're guilty, but, there was mitigating circumstances. Like, yeah, I did shoot the guy, but, he was charging me down with a knife. Okay, yes, you killed him, but you're exonerated because it was self-defense. Which of these is the approach that DSP is going to go for? How do we find DSP acquitted? He's guilty as shit based on evidence. We see this dude screaming at people every stream. And we can't say he's mentally insane. He seems to say that he's very sane. We have nothing that makes it justified. There's no behavior of his that's justified by what happens. What did Lavinia do? Lavinia, all she did was correct him on the technology that I keep thinking it's a woman. Lavinia corrected DSP on the technology he owned. Banned, screamed at, yelled at. How is that fair? What can you tell me, DSP, that exonerates that? Well, see, what happened was, you guys don't know this, but Lavinia actually drove by DSP's condo and shot the place up. So, he was a little angry about that and banned him. Okay, yeah, is that what you're going to tell me, DSP? Tevin drove by DSP's house and threw Molotov cocktails through the window. Well, only because he looked it up on GameFAQs. Is that going to exonerate you? And I passed it earlier, but the only thing that's going to really exonerate DSP is if he actually has true brain damage. If we interview Linda, and Linda says, yeah, so the thing with Phil is that he fell down an escalator when he was a baby, and, his frontal lobe never really developed, so he's actually mentally disabled. I mean, we're still probably going to resent the dude, but, what are you going to do with no frontal lobe, right? You got nothing, DSP. You've got nothing that's going to exonerate you. It's over. It reminds me of Dale in his excuse portfolio. When, again, backstory for anyone who doesn't know, someone asked Dale one time, how are you going to get a job as an actor when people are so easily cancelable? How are you going to justify all the things you did? And he said that he had a folder covering every single thing that he did and why what he did was acceptable. Which I would imagine this folder would be massive. He might have to store it in some sort of warehouse. Is DSP going to do that? He's going to go through each individual thing that he's done and say, yeah, that time, that was because of this. And Mike Klum is going to say, okay, that exonerates you. Okay, what about the next one? Yeah, I did this because of this. All right, so you're innocent of that one too. That's going to take forever, man. This documentary is going to be what? 150 hours long for the first 3 years of DSP's life, or as a streamer.
Fairly, and again, in an entertaining manner. That's really the key here, is to make something that you guys want to watch. That's not just for my haters. It's not just for my
John, I'm
fans.
innocent because
It's
I'm too
actually
stupid to
for an
know right from
outsider as
wrong.
well. Someone
There you
who's never
go.
heard of me, but you say, I hear the name
Acquitted.
Darkside Phil every once in a while. I wonder about this guy. What about, can I learn about him? This is the documentary.
His
you're going
options
to
are give
watch.
up. I agree
This
with give up.
hour or 2 hours, however long it ends up being.
Let's give up.
Go-to piece of content to watch. All right? And you're going to watch it and
That
say,
could also
okay,
be the only way it'd
there
work,
you go.
that guy.
That's what he's about. And then you can judge for yourself. Hey, maybe you want to come by and check out my content based on the documentary. Or maybe you're zero interest and you'll never check me out. And that's okay too, right? But at the very least, this is really, it seems to me, okay, that this is the only chance that I...
Also, hold on a second. Didn't Down the Rabbit Hole do a video on DSP? And DSP said that video was more or less okay. And it did what DSP is asking for. It really didn't cover much of DSP's behavior. That's my big criticism with that video, is it didn't cover really much of any of DSP's super toxic moments in terms of consistent things. It covered stuff like him being a shithead in Street Fighter and talking shit occasionally. But it didn't cover, the cat scam and shit like that, because it wasn't around then. But how is that documentary memory hold? Now, according to DSP, I'm sure what he would say is that because there were a few things wrong, you can't trust it. Well, that's not really how life works either, because there's always going to be issues. There's always going to be inaccuracies. Are you looking for complete perfection 100%? I thought you said that was unreasonable, DSP.
I really have to have a neutral
Phil wants
party
to say it'll be an hour
involved
too
in making
long.
something
I know how
that
long
actually
Phil
is
runs
fair.
his mouth.
That side-scroller,
Yeah, it's going to
interview
exceed
was a
Director's Cut of
complete
Titanic. Right.
attempt at getting me to look bad and get me to confess to shit I didn't do. There was no point to doing it, but I didn't know that at the time. I was promised all these things, and it was all lies, all bullshit. And this neutral party be involved in making something that actually is fair. That side-scroller's interview was a complete attempt at getting me to look bad and get me to confess to shit I didn't do.
No one has to attempt to make you look bad, DSP. No one has to attempt to make you look bad. You do it perfectly fine on your own. I'm not attempting to make you look bad with this video. Snort Hogan here actually is not attempting to make you look bad, DSP. Any of these subscribers, any of these commenters, they're not trying to make you look bad. They're not attempting to make you look bad. You do that perfectly fine on your own. And the same thing with the side scrollers. They gave you so many opportunities for you to either shut your mouth, avoid incriminating yourself, or exonerating yourself. And you chose none of them. You chose to run your mouth and be stupid, because that's what happens with narcissists. Narcissists are so convinced that they're smarter than everyone that they never have a moment in their head where they think, I am not going to successfully convince these people. They are too smart to convince. They are too logical to convince. They never think that. And that's why they get up there, run their mouth, and get shown to be more of a shithead. DSP owes everything of his failing to his inability to shut his goddamn mouth.
There was no point to doing it, but I didn't know that at the time. I was promised all these things, and it was all lies, all bullshit, right? The whole thing was basically a front for them to propel themselves to popularity.
That didn't work, did it?
Really worked. But still,
No.
you get it. Like,
It's almost like
okay,
that's a
something
really
like this
stupid
is
thing to
different.
claim.
And that's what I mean. Like, what you guys don't understand, because I know some people are
He
reacting.
wasn't so ashamed of his
and fair
addiction,
enough,
he
and
could
I
monetize
understand why.
WWE
Here's
Champions to
why.
be a successful mobile game streamer. He could get a sponsorship from them. No
I've
kidding.
never gotten a fair
They
shake.
love this dude. They let him change his name.
Never. You're right. Every single person has screwed me over. Whoever tried to do something, right? So.
But that's not their fault, DSP. Because what always happens is DSP thinks that everything's fine until he decides that he's pissed off, and then you betrayed him. DSP has delayed betrayal recognition syndrome. He's Megatron. He got tossed out of the ship, and as he's rolling on the ground and kind of dying and losing his limbs, he has a thought come into his head. Wait a minute. I think Starscream betrayed me. Yeah, that was betrayal, all right. Can't believe I didn't see the warning signs.
That's the point. Now, here's the thing. Does this mean
You
that
can
there's
almost
no
ask
one
him
going to be involved
if any
negatively? Of course
subject and
not.
make him
They're
look
going to be in
bad
there.
on someone because of
Everyone's
shit
going to be in
he's
this.
Yes.
I
He
mean,
has no ability to
everyone
exonerate
who's
himself.
is going to be in this damn thing. It's going to be entertaining for that very reason. But here's the thing. I get to respond to all the bullshit, right?
That's
When
what
get
you
one of these
claimed about
talking
the
head idiots
side-scroller
on there
thing.
saying something about me, I get to talk back. It's not just them yelling at their audience and their audience saying, hey, yeah. Instead, I actually finally get to respond to their...
Do we get to respond, DSP? Do we get to respond? Do we get invited onto the documentary? Well, I hope not me, because quite frankly, there's far more interesting people than me out there. Do any of the other detractors, are they going to get invited to the documentary? I assume so. I assume, because you have to be fair, right? You can't just say your side of things and it be left alone. What about my side of things? What about what I've observed? What about my grievances? What about my issues? Are they all going to be ignored? And furthermore, what is with this weird sense of powerlessness that he's trying to express here, that he's never had the ability to vocalize his side of things? DSP, all you do is vocalize your side of things. That's pretty much the only thing you ever have to talk about. And multiple detractors have invited you onto their show, and you say all this shit like, oh, it's, it would all be a trap, it'll all be a trap, but it'd be your chance to say what you want to say. And furthermore, that makes you more of a coward, DSP, because both Wings, Boogie, and LTG have gone in front of detractors and said their side of things. LTG was probably the worst, because all they did, it eventually devolved in him screaming at people. But they all did it. Why don't you do it? You used to be able to do it. I'll give you credit for that. You used to be able to tolerate that a little bit. I emailed you once when you first started talking about he's doing his private React videos, Heinz. When he first started talking about the interview thing, I sent an email to him, but because I was nobody, I wasn't Asmongold. I didn't have moist critical numbers. I'm so sorry about that, DSP. I'm working on it. That's why I'm working on it, so that you can let me interview you. But didn't give me a chance to talk to him. What the hell, man? I gave you your chance to say your piece. And I think, honestly, DSP, I'm probably one of the detractors who'd be most lenient on you.
Bullshit.
It's kind of a stupid thing on my part.
And that's the point, is that this is my format to finally do it. I can respond to them. But if I respond to them here,
DSP is
no
totally...
if I respond to them,
he does have some Starscream
now
energy
that
to him.
same audience that just heard the toxicity gets to hear my response to it.
We've heard nothing but your
again,
response.
I want you to understand something. This is not going to be ultra serious at all times. This is going to be fun.
Exactly.
It's going to be a project that
Soldier, he didn't give me a fair shake at all. It's bullshit. He just took everything out of context.
Okay? It's not just going to be me sitting here on my chair.
When I said his wife was fat, I was being ironic. I was making fun of detractors for saying that.
Shit about me and me just sitting here saying, well, here's
wait. No, I said that as a joke, but now that I think about it, that's what he said about his racist jokes. When he did the top 10 racist moments, he tried to make it very clear that he wasn't racist. He was calling out the racism of others by portraying that same racism back. Just exaggerating slightly, satire, if you will. Well, that's what I was doing. I was just making fun of the dumbass detractors who say his wife is fat. And so I said the same thing. Why did I get banned? I feel like that's unfair.
The truth about that. Here's the truth about that. That's boring. No one cares about that, right? So that's going to be the difference here, all right? And my goal is that when this thing comes out, okay?
Okay.
When this thing comes out, I want it to be the final go-to source for people to learn about me and my story.
He is older than LTG. I don't know about Wings and Boogie. I think he's older than Wings.
Bullshit from these people. Not to say that
Boogie just always looks super ancient, though.
They will always continue. We know this, that these people are so desperate for content. When you have no talent, you have to milk others for content, correct? Because you have nothing to make for yourself, so you have to milk.
Dude, that's not fair, man. Here's why that's bullshit, man. He confuses correlation with causation. And that's something that stupid people do. When you go to my channel, if you look at my videos, yeah, I have a lot of DSP stuff, but I also had a lot of other things. I did little videos with my friends. I played Gun and Battle Operation. I did all these things. He looks at this stuff and he says, oh, look at this. You did a video on SSX and got 22 views. Oh, that's why you went to DSP stuff. No, what happened was, as I had my fun making these videos, I still had a lot of fun making these videos. I have no regrets about making these videos. I wasn't bitter that they weren't getting views. That's not true. That's you projecting all this stuff onto people. Yes, these have more views. Big deal. That's not why I did it. I did it because I had something to say about this dude, Mr. Dark's Fattle. And I wanted to make videos about it. And then they blew up. And then what happened was I got this impression that people liked hearing this stupid shit. Or rather, hearing about this stupid shit that he does. That sounded really negative. That's not how I meant it. So that's why I did it. It's not causation. I wasn't doing videos like these, high accuracy city slicking and shit like that, and then went to the search bar, most toxic people to make videos of and get instant fame. No, that never happened. That's stupid. That's retarded, DSP. That's not how that sequence of events happened.
The world around you for content in a toxic way. They're never going to go away. But at the very least, once this story is
How's
out,
it going,
it's
Zambi?
done for me, and I can actually move on positively and say, you want answers about anything of my past or anything, go watch the Mike Klum documentary and leave me alone, because I'm moving forward with my audience.
But you already said that, DSP.
Will anything positive come out of it?
Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. We'll see. But I don't. The thing is, there's so much
Put
toxicity
Spider
and
Baby on
negativity
the
about
Man,
me on
cut
the
that shit
internet.
out, man.
I don't think you could hurt, right? Really, honestly, you guys. Are
I
not
got
going
some
anywhere.
books for
You
the
guys are here
zombies.
every day. You
Or
understand
zombies,
me
the
and
spiders.
why
I got this
content
book on
I put out.
Scientology.
My core audience is going to be with me no matter what. You know the truth. I've already told the stories, right? You're going to get, even you guys are going to get some good stuff out of this documentary. Trust me, there's going to be funny scenes. There's going to be
Really?
information you've never heard before.
I admit I'm excited for DSP.
There's
At
gonna be
first I
interesting
wasn't,
stuff,
because I
all
thought
right?
it was going to be
And
stupid as
again,
hell.
I totally understand.
But I do
Because
like that
people in the
DSP's
chat
buying
right now
into
who
it
are like, I don't
himself.
trust
That makes
I
it
think it's,
fun.
I hear you. I understand, because we have, again, we as a community, and I've said this before, it's not just about me. It's about us, right?
I will say I don't think I'm going to learn anything. I am excited, but I am not expecting much, if that makes any sense. I'm excited to watch it, but I am sure that I'm not going to learn anything new. But in the off chance that we get maybe 2 minutes of Linda talking about how DSP had brain damage, hell yeah, I'm excited for that.
Everything that I do has an impact on everyone around me, and I know that. So when I did that Side Scrollers interview, it
Also,
wasn't just a
KB,
shitty
we've heard what
situation
DSP
for
calls
me, it was a
funny,
shitty
so it's
situation
not
for
going to be
the community
funny.
for like 2-3 months, right? And I hear you on that. This is very different from everything that I'm involved with. It's professional, right? I've got, there's agreements in place.
Oh,
You know
yeah?
what I mean? Like this.
You got
is
some NDAs
on
in
the up
place?
and up,
Cool.
Going to be something that's going to be fun and fair.
I
I'm not
implanted
saying
a
this is- by
bomb
the way,
inside of
by
Mike's
no means
chest. If he
whatsoever
says
is this
anything
kind of
negative,
my
he
ass.
dies.
I want you to understand that. That's not the point. It's not supposed to be a documentary where Phil just looks good constantly. I'm a flawed human. I've made many mistakes.
Yeah, and you
over the
keep making
years,
them, and you don't care.
Being a YouTuber way before then as well, and I've fessed up to them. The thing
No,
is,
you did
no one
not.
hears that.
You
No one hears
justified
that
them.
Phil
There's a
did
difference,
something
DSP.
wrong. Instead, it's just he's this pig-headed guy who says that he's the best guy ever, right? That's not the case, but
No.
no one hears the truth.
No
You
one
understand
said
what
you
I'm saying?
literally said that, DSP. It's what you functionally
So-
say. God damn it.
I don't think. you
Yeah,
need
for
to
real,
worry is
Sonic.
what
This
you
one
do,
needs to be put down.
especially because, as
Or,
I
I mean,
said, I'm in a
recycled.
situation
There's all
here
these
where
official words you got to
It's
say.
very different from everything else. It's not, it's just an interview. It's just this or that. This is a situation where it's going to be done in a very professional way, all right? And it's going to actually give my side. It's going to give exclusive information and stuff that you haven't heard.
Why?
It's going to be very different.
This
Let's put
is
it
a
that
really
way,
bad
all
idea,
right?
DSP.
And by the way, because I know some people are really worried about this, it's something that's not happening right away. This is something that is going to take months and months to put together.
Oh, I'm
Something
sure.
with a
I wouldn't be
scale and
surprised if Mike, rage quit himself over this. Maybe it's super depressing.
Dude, this is basically kind of a Netflix level hour-long documentary about me, and it's going to take a lot of time. There's going to be filming. There's going to be all kinds of things that's going to happen.
What filming, DSP?
So, to be transparent,
What filming can be done, DSP? You're not going to let anyone inside your house. That's not going to happen. So what is going to happen, DSP, is you're going to, get filmed out in front of your house for a little bit? That's not going to happen, man. You're silly as hell. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope so, but I don't think that's possible. What? B-roll is not really footage, DSP.
with all of you, yes, this is going to affect me this year. There's going to be filming around here. There's going to be filming.
Same. It's like when
you know what I
Keemstar said
There's
to
gonna be
DSP,
a
I've talked to her.
high-level
Nothing
thing. This
has
is
come
not
from that, so I'm
fucking
not going to get
around
my
and just
hopes
doing
up
a
for
few
this
video
interview.
clips edited together
No.
like all the other documentaries about me. This is actually a real product. You understand?
What's a real product, DSP? Something that exonerates you?
So coming up, and I don't have all the information yet.
He'll
I
be
will
shorter
let
than
you know.
appreciated.
Okay. Basically, this is
DSP
gonna be
marathons
a
past it.
situation where I have to take a little bit of time away from streaming. Some of my streams will be affected. Obviously, they're going to want
Yeah,
to
look forward to the begging for those streams. Don't worry.
What I'm doing to put that into the documentary, right? There's going to be a few days where I'm not going to be able to stream because I'm
I
going
know
to have
that
to go
Foodie
film a
Beauty
bunch
said
of
the
stuff,
same about her
right, in the
haters.
studio or
They
other
can't get
places
views
or whatever.
without her.
So when
I never even
know
heard about her
all about that
until
stuff,
fairly
all right,
recently.
I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. So you'll know, okay, this week, guys, 2 days, I'm not going to be here on stream because I'm going to be off filming. And then I'll be back, right? And also, I just want to let you guys know, I can't be spoiling this thing constantly because people are going to constantly be bombarding me with questions. So what's going to be in it? And what's going to be this? And what's going to be that? And what, you know what I mean? You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, there you are.
I can't be spoiling the whole dang thing. I know a lot of people want that. I'm not going to spoil the whole. What's the point of it if I tell you everything we're doing?
It's a horrible
right? So
idea. If Mike is able to make
from time
something
to
for
time,
Phil like he
as
did
I'm
for
working on
Boogie
it over
and
the course
Phil.
of 2024,
I mean, I get what
stuff
you're
that I wanna
saying.
share
Nothing's
with
going to end
you.
Phil.
Maybe
I
there's a
think
behind the
thermonuclear
scenes
war wouldn't end
clip
Phil.
or
But yeah, it's
video
going to make
that
him
I
look
wanna share,
shitty.
or a picture or
Because
something
what
to
else?
show you, hey, we're working
What
together.
else
Here's,
image
you know.
is there? What else image is there? This dude is a dickhead to everyone on the internet constantly. People he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know their name and face. Bans them, blocks them, shits on them. And what magic is Mike gonna do? How is looking inside DSP's condo going to exonerate him? It's stupid. It's impossible. It's an impossible situation you've created for yourself, DSP. You can't be exonerated. You can't be. Unless it comes out that, I don't know, there's been a bomb implanted in your chest for years and someone is making you do this, and if you don't do it, you're gonna die. There's nothing you can do, man.
You know what I'm saying? Then we should
Phil will
absolutely
literally outlast the heat
do
death
that
of the
to
universe,
share,
even
but
as
it's
his
not going to
body
be
die.
spoiling the entirety of the whole thing. There's a ton of things in here you're not going to hear about at all until it comes out. It's going to be 100%
He's gonna live on. He's a
under
ghost in the
wraps,
machine,
exciting
Confetti.
stuff you're only going to see in this documentary. Again, the whole point is to get
Well
everyone
said, Silent
who
Weapons.
wants to learn about me to watch this thing. I think it's going to be fascinating to see my
I'm
story
sure.
and then to see how people have reacted to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at all these people on the internet who crap on Phil, right? But for what? Right?
For
It's
what? How much
fascinating.
time do you
Also,
have, DSP?
I'd also, one of the things that I want to get out of it, I can't wait to hear how people, I want to hear people's take on like what they think I do wrong and how I can actually improve. Because that's the funny part, is everyone always wants to constantly crap on you, but no one actually wants to help you. You know what I'm saying? You're doing everything wrong. Okay, so what should I be doing that would be...
I'm sorry, I'm rubbing my eyes right now. This dude has no accumulated memory whatsoever. This is a really, really old clip that exists. I'm not going to dig for it, but it's from when he's at the Connecticut condo. And he's sitting there in front of his computer, and he's doing some sort of Q&A. I forget exactly what. I think it was Ask the King. And he was discussing the concept of constructive criticism. And the way he defines constructive criticism is the most childish thing that I've ever heard in my life. Up until that point. That was when I was first getting into DSP, and I was looking at a lot of historical footage of him. His definition for constructive criticism was, you have to gently tell me what I'm doing wrong, still tell me that I'm kind of right, but then give me step-by-step instructions on how to do it perfectly, and they have to work flawlessly. I churched it up a little bit, but that's essentially what he said. So for DSP, to be constructive or to help him improve himself means that you basically have to be like Papa Vera and create some sort of tutorial to help him be a better person. Except that people have tried to do that with him. So many people have tried to patiently explain to DSP how you can improve yourself in any way, in any sort of capacity. How to be more entertaining, how to be better engaged with your content, how to be better engaged with your viewers. People have tried so much in vain with this dude. And this dude is so resistant to it every time. We just had the suggestion box segment, which could have been really, really brief if DSP really wanted to. This person suggested nope. This one suggested nope. That's a nope. That's a no. Yeah, they're all no's. That's all a no right there. Very quick. Done. We can move on to gameplay. He always finds a reason why what you're suggesting to him is impossible. You cannot accomplish these goals. And even things that are completely within his power, he says no. So why would anyone want to help this dude? Why would we care? And all the negative things that we say about you, DSP, most of them are attached to your personality. Quite frankly, if you took the entire DSP as a businessman angle out of the equation, there's still plenty to criticize this dude for. Stuff that's free to fix. It actually costs no money to not be a dickhead. And you don't have to really... I get that change is hard. It takes a lot of effort to change who you are. I get that. But that's just shitty. To say, you know, all these people say all these mean things about me and then don't give me any sort of avenue to change myself. Stop being an asshole? And I get it, it's not going to come cold turkey. I said that wrong. I get that you can't quit being an asshole cold turkey, but you could work on it. You could say, all right, today I'm going to be a little bit less of an asshole than I was yesterday. DSP never does that. He does this stupid shit where he tried to do this whole, you know, I'm not going to shit on people on Street Fighter thing. Where did that turn out? It's so disingenuous, dude. People have given you what he does. He doesn't want to change. That's not it. That's never been the thing. What he wants is for you to change your expectations about him. He wants society to bend to him. He needs society to realize, hey, DSP is not that bad. You shouldn't criticize him. Well, that's not how reality works, man.
Be right.
Look at
Be
this
just
face
like
as he
you.
says it. Does that
Maybe I don't
look
wanna
like
be you,
someone accepting
right? Not
of
everyone wants to be
criticism?
exactly the same. So there's going to be a lot of
No,
interesting things.
he's
out there.
never been
There is,
accepting of it ever.
absolutely.
He's always shit on people, always. Oh, you're not
So
a successful
basically, there's
businessman.
gonna
You
be
can't tell me how
tons
things
of
work. You don't know
different
me.
stuff in this thing. Tons. All right? And
Phil can be
as I
exonerated if Linda
said,
coddled
I'll
Phil
let you know
point.
when
Phil
I have
could
more
not figure out
information.
his own
I
identity.
don't have all the
You're gonna
information
spend
right
it on
now.
burgers?
We have to. Basically have to get to the point where things are hashed out dates wise, so I can tell you. I can tell you right now, it won't even be
Yeah,
soon. Like,
even
probably
just
the
shorting
earliest
his
couple months
podcast. Nope, can't do
before
it.
we even start working
It'll
on this
cause
thing
his
when it comes
podcast to be only 2 minutes long.
filming and in-person
Yeah,
stuff.
you
So,
guys just
it's
want
not
no
like, oh, you just
podcast?
gave us a
I can't
schedule,
even
now
talk?
everything's different. No. This is not gonna. This probably won't even be until, maybe some work in March, April, and then probably some more. And from what I'm to understand, time frame wise, this is something that's going to come out much later in the year. This is not something that's, again, this is a professional level thing. This is not something rushed out in a month.
Growing
and
up in an
just getting
environment where you're
clicks.
not
That's the
allowed to fail
intention,
or decide
okay?
things for yourself makes it very
So
likely
this is
you'll
a
be
big
a
endeavor.
dysfunctional adult.
I told you guys I have a lot of things in process.
Here's what I'm gonna say about this. Whenever people bring up that DSP could very well be emotionally and psychologically stunted, I get that. I really do. But there comes a point where you should be recognizing that maybe there's ways I could heal more. Maybe there's more I could do. Yeah, it's not a podcast. I was talking. Did I bring that up? I was talking with my dad again the other day, and he was talking about his podcast idea, which I'm trying really, really politely to get my dad to give up because it just sounds like a shit show. I love my dad to death, but the thing that he's suggesting is, come on, man. But I was talking about that. I said, well, why can't you just do a podcast by yourself? And he said, you can't do a podcast by yourself. That's not a podcast. You're telling me that my boomer dad knows more about podcasts than this boomer?
For 2024, DSP Throwback is one of them, and that's the one that's coming this
Exactly, Richard. Why change?
This documentary about me is another one, and that's coming later, much later in the year. Like I would, maybe summer, maybe fall. I don't know. It depends on a lot of factors. There's a lot of stuff involved, schedule wise and everything. So we'll have to see. But just
I don't want to do a sequence. I cannot convey
more stuff is
how much I don't want to do it.
Specifics and stuff that we're ready to talk about. I'm sure Mike and I will tell everybody. Okay, so you can ask me questions, but chances are I'm not going to answer a lot of these questions until specifics are hashed out and we're ready to talk about it.
All right, cool then. So are you gonna keep answering questions people ask?
Everything early. I'm not going to tell you everything early, right? But just to make this perfectly clear, this is not the Boogie documentary at all. This is not the intention of the Boogie documentary. That whole
But that's not really up to you, DSP. That's not really up to you. Because at the end of the day, it's this dude, Mike, who has it. If he has all this footage and all the footage says DSP is a shithead, what is he going to do? Is he contractually bound to make a video that exonerates you or makes you look good? If that's the case, then people are going to shit on it for that. And that's something else that DSP never really recognizes about this, is that he always thinks that these videos can, or the very concept that a video can exist that will justify his behaviors. And even if that happened, even if this dude does make this video that completely, sucks Phil's ass and say he's such a great guy, we're going to pick it apart. We're going to shit on it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to make streams about it. People are going to make videos about it. There's going to be dissection about it. Look at how much people dissected that video from John and Howard. That thing was picked clean. You think we're not going to do that to that video? And furthermore, it's going to affect his reputation because people are going to make fun of him for it. Well, whatever.
Documentary.
I wish you the best of luck, DSP. It's not going to happen.
Basically, Boogie and Mike wanted to go with that, and this is completely different. I made it very clear up front.
So
I'm
which
not
would
Boogie.
describe
I'm not
DSP
some
more?
sad
Not being
story
allowed to fail,
where
or
we're
was he
gonna
not
be
allowed to
talking about
decide
how
for
awful my
himself?
fucking
Or
life
was
is
it
and
both?
everything. I don't
I'd say he
have
wasn't
sob
allowed to fail.
documentary. There's no sob story. My life is good. I have a good life every day. I have a great time with my audience.
My life is not a sob story, says the man who cries every stream about how everything is so terrible and awful and bad. My life is not a sob story.
I'll have a bunch of fun. All the idiots outside of my streams are the ones who are miserable, have to talk shit all day. I have a great time with my life. So
hey, Oh, I see, dude. You can save your money, man. You can save your money. That's not going to have the desired effect you think it probably will have, man. Just being completely 100% with you. Just don't. All right.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing in this that's going to be, oh my god. Not to say that we're not going to touch upon serious stuff.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to talk about Kat's weight gain. She's going for Miss Universe.
Business-wise and personal. You know, I've told you all these stories before, but again, this is going to be the focused place where I talk about
If Mike makes a puff
all
piece, he'll
once.
lose all
And if
credibility.
you want to know anything about Darkside Phil, this is where you go for it. And like I said, my intention is that this is it. Once this is done, 'cause this is a lot of time.
How many more this is it are we going to get from this dude? How many more could it?
Going into this,
how many more could happen?
Time away from my work, time away from streams for you guys. Once this is done, that is that. You know what I'm saying? That is that. It's done. It's, you know, I'm not doing another one of these damn things unless like aliens land and I have a story of how I fought the aliens or something.
Very
you know
good.
What I
DSP.
mean?
Very clever.
To be told. And after this, I just want to continue to do what I love for a living and not have to bother with this shit anymore. You know? But I feel like this is my fair chance to have a fun, informative, interesting documentary be made about me, rather than it just be hit piece, hit piece, hit piece, hit piece, or even worse than that. You wanna know what's worse than a hit piece? Because here's the thing. With a
Look. Never mind, man.
hit piece, all right? You can tell when it's a hit piece, right? When you watch someone who really doesn't like someone and they're making negative content, you can tell this is a hit piece, and you're not going to have normal people watch a hit piece. The only people who watch that stuff are people who...
Are those videos about the Japanese dudes who gassed the subway tunnels? That's a hit piece, man. It's just making them out... It's just making them out to look bad, man. They never looked on the other side of things. Hey, man, were they good people? Were they decent people? No, we didn't do anything for that. That's how you know it's a hit piece.
Who actually don't like the person already, and they just kind of want to laugh at piling on, right? There's tons of people out there who don't like me. Their entire existence on the internet is anti-Phil.
That's not true, DSP. That's very negative.
Someone who presents themselves as if they're a neutral party and doing it fairly, but literally all they do is regurgitate the conspiracy and toxicity that the hit piece people did. But they'll, oh, you see, well, this is what everyone says about
yeah,
them.
and Phil,
yeah,
very bad optics
Did you
there.
actually say anything good? Did you talk to a single person about good?
What good can I say about you, DSP? What good? Okay, we're going to have a therapy session, everyone. We're in group therapy, and I love you all to death. Real moment. Try and go without sarcasm or dorking around. What's something positive you can say about DSP? DSP, hey, tell you what, man. Come into the chat. Check out the chat right now. I'm asking them to be positive. I will give my thing. DSP can be very entertaining when he doesn't know what he's doing. I will say that. When DSP is genuinely confused and he's flipping out, that's funny as hell to me. I'll admit it. It's good comedy. You can't write some of DSP's weird meltdowns. And I'll give you credit for that, DSP. That's something nice. Is that something you want to hear? Probably not. What else can I say that's positive about you, DSP? Again, I'm trying to challenge myself to not say something that's roundabout insulting. I will admire your tenacity with certain games. I really will. There's a lot of games where I thought, oh, DSP is going to drop this game. He's failed to this boss 30 times. He's going to drop this game. And you keep playing. And I'll give you credit for that. That's something special. But DSP, all the positive things that people are going to say, yeah, he's polite to Jade. Okay, yeah, see, that's something nice. Here's the thing, DSP. All these positive things that people could say about you, those don't happen that often. They don't. And they tend to be, in some cases, shied away from you, DSP. You don't like doing some of these things. Whereas, any given stream, you're being a dickhead. You're being an asshole. You're being negative. You're being rude. You're being disrespectful. You're yelling at people. You're retconning. You see that DSP, even with all the good things that you do, they are nothing compared to the vast ocean of negative moments from you. It can't be done, dude. You can't do it. You've got too much negativity attached to you. And that's your fault. That is your fault. I don't know how else to get through to you, DSP, about that.
Stuff about me? Or did you only just literally regurgitate the same boring shit that everyone said for the last 10 years? So why'd you even make your fucking video besides circle jerking yourselves into those communities for more milking of money? Because the funny part is they say lol cows, right? But the thing is, when as much as they say they're milking someone for content, you want to know who they're really milking? The detractors.
Yeah.
Every moment that one of those
I agree with that,
documentaries, all they're doing is milking the detractors for their views. And
You trying to turn me against the
because my
fellow
fans
detractor
don't
GSP?
care.
That's not going to work, man.
I don't care. I don't even watch it. It's them that they're milking, not me. Yeah, sure, it's about me, but you
Sure that he's
literally
nice
didn't
to
even say
JD,
anything
though I
new.
haven't
All you
seen
did was
evidence
regurgitate
that
the
he knows
toxic
about
shit,
Jay's
and you
condition.
milk
I would
them
think
for
that he'd
money
have to know.
and views, not me. It doesn't come from me. You know what I'm saying? So in this case,
Okay, hold on a second here. Let me hear that again. What? Dude, stop that. Oh my god.
Well, let me tell you.
Man.
is where you go for it. And like I said, my intention is that this is it. Once this is done, it's land. Even you can tell when it's a hit piece. Red is anti-fair, all good. Those communities, as much as they say they're milking someone for content, you want to know who they're really milking? The detractors. Every moment that one of those people make one of those documentaries, all they're doing is milking the detractors for their views and money. Because my fans don't care. I don't care. I don't even watch it.
Then why do you react to it so much, man?
It's them that they're milking, not me.
Who's that?
Yeah,
Some
sure, it's
because I was
about me,
looking now.
but you literally
Now my search results are going to be contaminated forever because I looked up a couple serial killers or mass murderers to make the point about DSP and documentaries. Now that's all I'm going to be finding in my recommended for the next couple weeks. Damn it!
didn't even say anything new. All you did was regurgitate the toxic shit, and you milk them for money and views, not me. It doesn't come from me. You know what I'm saying? So in this case,
These things do not come from DSP. These moments of toxicity and negativity do not come from DSP. I don't know how he can make this claim. It's complete madness. It's a complete schizo claim. Snort Hogan at no point has come into the video and said DSP is a shithead because he does this. He didn't do it. Not once. What's a food? I don't want to discuss that, Zambi. Ask Derek. He'll tell you. He'll give you the Wikipedia. So, DSP, it's you, man. It's you. You could even make the claim about that with the WWE Champions. Yes, you're not technically on stream playing WWE Champions, except for that one time you were, and you basically memory hold that. But you are a dickhead on Street Fighter. You're mean to people. You're negative to people. You talk all this shit. Where did we get involved in that? Did we create some sort of super advanced DSP AI to replicate you completely? Admittedly, if we did, that'd be hilarious. But we didn't. That was you, man. Snort Hogan is not on screen right now, believe it or not.
yes, this documentary will absolutely address some of the conspiracies and toxic things that are
If
said about
aliens
it.
did land
100%,
Earth,
those will
they'd be so
addressed.
confused with
But at
Phil.
the same
Yeah, what if they
time,
thought
there's gonna
DSP
be the more
represented
fair
humans in
human aspect
general?
to it.
I guess
Me as
you'd
a person,
feel
my
that they were
history,
right in
what
their
I
choice to
actually- what I
eliminate all
stand
humanity.
for, what kind of content I put out today versus what everyone claims I put out 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No one's
it's gonna
talking
be
about
very,
15
very
years ago,
different,
DSP.
all right?
You
So,
are.
like
You're
I
talking
said,
about 15 years ago more than we
I will
are.
have way more information about this as it develops. Right now, it's too early to give you any specifics, nor would I really want to give you specifics, because that would give away too much, you know? And I'm going to have meetings with Mike where we're going to plan and discuss things, and then we're going to have filming sessions and stuff, and I'm going to keep you all in the loop on that so you know what to expect with all
But
of
I
that.
thought you said
I want to
earlier
know
you're not
what
going to
I'm not
discuss it
gonna
all the
be here, you
time.
know, what's
Whatever,
going on,
it's fine,
okay?
man.
And like I said, there will absolutely be stuff that will likely be shared with you over the course of the year, whether it's
I
like
do
put
think
out
that,
an
Richard.
exclusive
I
clip on
do
the
think that
channel as a
DSP
preview of something
is
that will be
simply
in this
not in the
project
world of
to
sanity.
get you guys hyped up for. Because again, it's not just for people who don't like me. It's not just for people who like me. This is for everyone. This is supposed to be a video you can watch, and you will learn all kinds of stuff about me. If you just heard the name
Phil
Dark
might
Side
make a
Phil,
good
maybe you
ambassador
only
of
saw one
aliens
clip
ever
of me
landed.
ever, and you want to hear my
They're more
story. That's
calm
what the
with them
point
than-
of this documentary.
Yeah,
is.
maybe he speaks to their language
So
and
there you go.
understanding.
So now the beans have been spilled to the point where at least
Oh, you
know
got a bunch of
general
aliens coming out
understanding
T-posing, talking about the bottom line is this.
of what this is going to be. All right. And again, the funny part
So
about
here's
this
the
is
bottom
when
line.
people
We're
say
gonna like
stuff well,
mine your
you know, I
planet
think
for
that might be
resources.
try to screw
Okay, I got some
how?
negative idiot in
Like,
chat
why
saying,
would you
"Oh,
guys, if you
aliens,
do
please
that,
stop evaporating us with your lasers.
right?
I didn't
If
do
Mike
anything,
becomes known
idiot.
as the guy who
Now you're
stores people and
bad.
he makes
Shoot that
documentaries
guy."
about them. Well, who would ever want to work with Mike ever again? Do you think he's doing it for a one-off video and he's running and never making content ever again? That doesn't make any sense. He wants to make good content that everyone's happy, right?
Good content where everybody is happy, i.e., a puff piece for me. That DSP. So it's kind of like with his lawyer during the bankruptcy saga, that if you do not commit crimes for me or exonerate me or defend me, no one's going to work with you ever again. If you do not support me in doing something that is unethical, no one's going to ever look to you again. I mean, I'm sure DSP isn't saying that, but that's essentially what he's operating with. That lawyer should be disbarred for real.
Right? That's the point.
Yeah, it's going to be
So
a
there you go.
puff piece.
Okay.
It's either going to be a puff
Alright, so
piece
anyway,
or it's going to be nothing.
That's
But
that.
I'm really
Now,
banking on
I
that
have a few
1%
quick
chance that
shout-outs
it's
to do. We're gonna get through
absolutely
those, and I'm
hilarious.
sure you guys are going to probably have questions, and I'll field your questions for as much as I possibly can. But again, all right.
Yeah, they'd have to go get backup silent weapons.
Basically, what I want to do is answer
We have the
questions.
entire
I'm not
Galactic
gonna get shot
Federation
away.
attacking
When I
us
start playing
now.
Baldur's
Damn.
Gate, I want to play
Thanks,
Baldur's Gate.
Phil.
When I play Sea of Stars, I want to play Sea of Stars. That's the whole point of us doing this podcast, was to talk about this now, and go from there. Okay? And by the way, Abdullah says, I'll call this out now. Trying to prove anything to people is a waste of time. It's better to move on with your
Yes.
life. You're right.
Yes.
Again, I'm telling you,
Yes.
that's not the point. This is not Phil's debunkery and for an hour. That's not the point of this
But-
documentary.
okay.
It's a real documentary. See, here's the thing. You guys are completely misunderstanding because you have only seen toxic shit about
Admittedly, I really am misunderstanding. It's because DSP doesn't actually know what he's talking about. It's because he doesn't have a concept in mind of what's happening. He thinks that this is some sort of testimonial that us learning about how he goes through his day or learns about how he was when he was 4 years old is going to somehow make everything now better, even though this dude talks about how everyone lives in the past. This isn't even a documentary, DSP. You're getting a commercial. That's what you're getting. You're having a commercial for Darkside Phil being made about you. An infomercial, I guess, because of the length. But it's not a documentary the way you describe it.
on the internet. That's the difference here. When you hear, oh, it's a documentary about Phil, and you turn it on, the
How
whole
much
thing's
sugar
been
should I use on my
about
meat?
2 hours.
That's really a King
all
Cobra
right.
question.
So is this documentary going to be Phil just responds to that for 2 hours? No. It's real. This is a real documentary, and this is, again, what people don't get, because you haven't seen a real thing about me yet. You literally haven't seen one. I would say the closest one that came to this was the Frederick Knudsen documentary from many, many years ago, but that got a lot wrong, had limited information, right? It was, and by the way, it's incredibly outdated at this point, you see?
So can we use that for going in the future? Any documentary that doesn't have the person there talking about it isn't a real documentary. Someone should probably alert... No, it's too late for them. I was going to say someone should alert History Channel to go ahead and take the channel down. Because none of those people are still alive. Hitler? You can't talk to that dude. He's dead. Jesus? Well, pretty dead. You got all these people. They're not alive anymore. Those aren't real documentaries. Take them down. Do some sort of apology. How's it going, Ron? I guess that's how it's going to have to happen. Anything that is made when a person is dead, automatically discredited.
So there you go. I agree with Abdullah. If this entire
Yeah, they didn't
was
even
2
interview
hours
the
of
shark.
literally
That's
responding
bullshit,
to
Capetic.
not
You're
me
right.
saying, oh, that's wrong. There's no point. You're absolutely right. Then there would be no point to doing it. Zero. But that's not what this is going to be. I'll tell you that right now. Okay?
You're such a loser, TSP. God damn, man. You are such a frustrating individual. I can already tell this documentary will be a disaster for Phil. So far, to my memory, any documentary was not fair according to Phil. Because what's fair to Phil is complete exoneration. That's what's fair to Phil. That's not a reasonable request, man. All right, I've got enough time for a couple more videos, hopefully. This is the one about... Wait, where's the one about... I want to find the video regarding... Oh. Him doing the channel for his previous shit. I think this is quite possibly the dumbest idea he's had in a while. I think this is dumber than the interview thing, quite possibly, because the interview is probably not going to get him banned, but this could actually get the dude banned.
Gentlemen, according to my
This is just a very vague where the story is done and then leave you hanging. 20
Oh,
vacuum
God.
cleaners, you again, like it'll turn back. The hard drives, and we access
Yeah, there
the
it is.
live.
But I want to watch this entire thing because I want to hear him shit on Cat again.
Ladies and gentlemen, according to my Muxie, I just received a $1,000 tip.
How's it
from
going, Lunar
Santa
Guardian?
Claus.
I think Phil is getting confused with an
Wow.
autobiography.
A couple
He should
other
do his
things.
own video.
I will say this, and this is
Oh,
just
God,
a very
that would be,
vague
what,
preview, I know.
years long?
In 2024, there's a few interesting things in the works. That's all I'm going to say. That's literally it. I'm not going to give you any more information because I don't want...
Let's just skip this.
Right. I gotta win ahead of myself and tell you half a story before the story is done and then leave you hanging. Oh, money, like a fucking money machine to try to pull the new thing. I'd rather that everything is complete, all the pieces
Yeah,
are in
interview
place, everything's
Jasper. We
ready
need
to
to get
go
his side of things.
before
Yeah.
I make any announcements. All right? But what I will just tell you is this.
Let me turn this down.
2024 is
This
stacking
video
up
is really
to be
loud.
one of the most, if not the most interesting year that I've ever been on the internet for me and possibly you. Let's just put it that way.
That's quite saying something, considering 2023 was so wild.
There are things coming that you guys have asked for a while that may or may not happen, but I hope they do. So I'm just going to say that, like, big things coming in 2024. All right, guys. Let's do it. Let's get all the monies. But then I had to dump at the dump. I'm like, oh, my God. So I did that. You know, busy work bullshit. And then I get a text from my wife while I'm out. And she goes, so I know I don't want to dump this on you, but I think our vacuum cleaner just broke. And I'm like, oh, no. Of all times, we really can't afford another vacuum cleaner right now, dumping hundreds of dollars.
That's the inside of DSP's head at any given point.
Into another vacuum.
The entire time he's playing Street Fighter.
This is not the case. Because the thing is, we have a cat. Jasper sheds, so we need a vacuum cleaner that can handle pet hair. We can't just buy normal vacuum cleaners. You can say, oh, they're cheap. No.
I'm sorry. Let me watch it one more time.
But then I had to dump at the dump. I'm like, oh, my God. So I did that. You know, busy work bullshit. And then I get a text from my wife while I'm out. And she goes, so I know I don't want to dump this on you, but I think our vacuum cleaner just broke. And I'm like, oh, no. Of all
He's
time,
getting comboed by Cammy there.
Afford another vacuum cleaner right now, dumping hundreds of dollars into another vacuum cleaner. This sucks. I hope this is not the case. Because the thing is, we have a cat. Jasper sheds, so we need a vacuum cleaner that can handle pet hair. We can't just buy normal vacuum cleaners. You can say, oh, they're cheap. No. They fucking clog up with cat hair. Oh, we know, because we had one when we first got him, and that thing broke within a year.
I was talking to a hero on Twitter about this particular segment with the vacuum cleaner. And they informed me that they work at a place that does vacuum cleaners. And his little statement here about the cat hair thing is complete crap. That they test it on animal hair, pretty much any vacuum. And I would think that would make sense that you would want to at least be able to have a powerful enough vacuum to pull up hair out of carpet. Because otherwise, what the hell's the point? Now, I can understand if you have to do it multiple times. I own a Husky. I'm telling you, vacuuming a single room requires 3 empties to vacuum the room. The dude is a furry dude, and I don't really see how he lost all of it all. At least in the carpet, anyway. And then he probably doesn't clean it. He probably doesn't remove the filter or change things or, hell, wash it even. He doesn't do any of this shit.
Okay?
Promise you.
So, and by the way, Jasper agrees with me. I'm like, don't tell me this thing fucking broke now, of all things. We've had this one, I want to say we've had this one for 2 years or whatever.
Did you change the oil?
And I'm walking into the house with all of the grocery bags, and I'm putting them down the counter. And Kat, we have a shop vac in the garage, but it's a very little one. And really, the only reason we have it is to do things in the garage and clean the car. So that's why we have.
So
shop
first
vac.
mistake
now,
from
shop
Kat.
vacs are not meant for like indoor use. This thing has like a hole in the back that is supposed to have
wow.
air blow out of. That's how it is. It cycles there, sucks it in, the air blows out the back. So she's trying to clean the rest of the house.
Yeah, exactly, Fourth Rider. Nothing you can do, dude.
What's happening is it's sucking up dirt and dust and hair, but then basically the exhaust on the back is like a cannon, right?
What?
And it's blowing.
This sounds dangerous,
all
DSP.
over the other side of the house. So it's like you clean this side, but then it's blowing everything to the other side. So you gotta run to the other side. You're trying to vacuum, then it blows shit to the other side. They're full of shit. So there's like
that just sounds like a design flaw, man. All right, so get this, dude. This is a clown vacuum. It's something I would see in a clown show, an actual clown show. All right, so you got the clown, right? You're visualizing him. Red hair, white face paint, gamer shirts. Anyway, receding hairline, DSP. He's vacuuming, right? And the vacuum is comically shooting things out the back end. And then he has to go and vacuum the other. No, man, this sounds stupid as hell. I promise you don't know what you're doing with this machine. I promise you.
Like, dust, dirt, hair, and it's going vroom, vroom, vroom across the house floor as she's trying to clean the house. It's like a comedy movie. We're like, what the hell is this? Obviously,
it sounds like Cat's really
just
stupid.
For the garage, that's it. You clean your car, you don't care. But this is just stupid, right? So basically, she cleans the whole house.
Damn, silent weapons.
With this shop vac, which
yeah,
is
that's
like
it.
10 times harder.
That's it, Roan.
To clean the house with the shop vac, right? So then I'm like, what is wrong with this goddamn vacuum? So we unpack all the groceries and everything.
Yeah,
right?
obviously. Well, the vacuum's still running.
Let me
hopefully.
take a look, because this vacuum, all right, because basically
I gotta use my continuous improvement
vacuum
credits here.
Is deluxe for pet hair, all right? So it's got
Zambi
extendable
Keystone Cops episode. I need to watch that.
Hand vac, It's got all kinds of attachments that you plug into the hand vac, and they're all powered too. Like everything's powered. So the hand vac is powered. The attachments are powered. If
The
you plug
hose
the
is
hand
powered?
vac
How do you have a
into the
powered
vacuum,
hose?
Then the major thing down there is running too. And the ground
Can you-
thing then runs. So it's like it's got like 20.
DSP, just bring it on stream, man. I can't conceptualize all this shit. It sounds like some sort of like it was designed by MC Escher. Can you just bring it on screen and show us?
Alright, so here's the vacuum.
Like, come on, man. You can bring all kinds of stupid shit on screen.
Components. And I'm thinking in my head, this thing has a possibility that if any of these components is malfunctioning,
Yeah, industrial
or not even
vacuum.
connected,
They
right,
use it to
that could be the
vacuum
problem.
industries.
And we've had issues with this vac before where it's clogged with hair and shit, and then you have to unclog giant areas of it to get it to work again. Like it'll turn off and not turn on again, right?
So you're trying to blow this thing up, huh?
Oh yeah.
So I start going through.
That takes a lot of work to
entire
destroy
system
an
of the
industrial
First, I'm
vacuum
looking
like
at the hand
that.
vac. No, that's not clogged. And I'm shaking the tube. No, that's not clogged, right? Not clogged. And I'm shaking the tube. No, that's not clogged. Right?
That's a DSP line out of the, the wedding night.
Right? Help! Unplugging the attachment. So now we know it can't be the attachment, right? Because the attachment's not even attached, so it can't be the attachment that's causing the problem. It still doesn't turn on. All right, let's go down here. So I'm going through the whole vacuum. So finally,
You really
I
did
look at the
do all
bottom.
that
There's
hand
nothing clogged
motions?
at the bottom.
Look at how easy it is to tell a story. Yeah, so something was wrong with my vacuum, and I took it all apart and I looked through all the components. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on, but then I eventually did. DSP can turn such a minute story into a big-ass saga, and of course it always highlights his stupidity, so I guess I shouldn't complain.
Nothing wrong there. So I said, well, where does this hand vac
I'm a
actually
Pomeranian,
attach
never had a problem.
to the
Jasper's is
vacuum?
short here. You probably
And I
have zero
realized
problems with the vacuum. I
it's
wouldn't think it'd be an
detachable.
issue.
Oh my god.
Is it detachable?
What a fucking idiot. Why? If the hand vac is the power button.
Probably
the
for
entire
storage,
vacuum,
DSP.
And it doesn't turn on without the hand vac, then why would it be detachable?
That'd
You
be funny,
can't
bug mechanics.
Plug it and use it. There's no power to it. It has to, you know what I mean?
Do you got 40 grand?
So I detach it. There's nothing
no.
clogged or anything.
It's all in Bitcoin.
Okay? I reattach it. Vacuum turns on. Oh my god! Oh!
Do you
I'm
not
staring
do you not see how this story makes you look stupid, DSP? That's the lack of self-awareness. There have been plenty of times where I've had something happen to me, and it very clearly was me being the dumbass in the equation. Or at the very least, I'm not as smart as I think I am. And you know what happens? I don't tell those stories to people. I'm not going to. DSP has no recognition of that, because he's the man who's always right. He doesn't seem to have an issue with stories that paint him as a complete dumbass. Again, I guess that's good for everyone else.
There was nothing there. It wasn't clogged. It wasn't loose.
None normally.
It wasn't broken.
He always
It just
looks
didn't
so
want to turn
incompetent
on.
in his
It's
stories.
like it willed itself off.
Yeah, that's what
It
happened,
didn't want to turn
DSP.
on. There was literally nothing wrong with it at all.
It gave
wasn't
up.
The filter. The filter. My wife
Let's
changed
give
the
up.
filter. She emptied the whole thing. It was, I guess, a bad connection.
Yeah, it was
between
using
the
rollback
hand vac
netcode.
and the vacuum itself, because it has metal prongs that power it, right? And I'm looking. I'm like,
Cannon Brothers.
why did it?
Bastards.
I don't know. This is just broken as fuck. I have no idea. I really don't know. But then it turned on and off, and I'm like, well, thank God, crisis averted, because we really can't afford
Did
another
you
vacuum right
solve
now.
the part where it was shooting stuff out the back?
So at least that was averted. But it was just sucks because my wife cleaned the whole house with a shop vac, which is probably 3 times harder to do because the thing's blowing air everywhere, which is not meant.
Kat's over here making things so much harder for herself. She really did learn from her husband. Damn, they are the perfect power couple. DSP makes everything harder for himself, and so does she.
For indoor use, right? But I'm like, well, that was really stupid.
Dude, he did do something to help Epion.
At
He
least
was
it
getting
works
groceries.
now. And
Man.
the thing is, no guarantee it's going to keep working. We hope this isn't a recurring issue that gets worse and worse. But what are you going to do? Like I said, we've had this vacuum for like.
Is that your foreshadowing,
and it's
DSP?
emotionless
Expect to
and
hear about the
boring,
vacuum in the
because
future.
this one 100% is actually in my power. Is that I feel like within the first couple months of 2024, I should take action on the
vacuum.
backup hard drive archives.
Oh.
The lost media. And I found the hard drives, and we accessed them live on a stream, all right? And we found
Porn
out
all over the
that
place.
the lost media existed and could actually be used.
Holy shit!
All right? Now you might
Can
be
it be
saying,
monetized?
well, what lost media? Now here's the thing.
My
I need people's buy-in that they're going to be
CCTV
interested
footage?
and at least watch it. If I'm putting all this extra time and effort into doing this, and these videos are getting 10 views, then it's not worth my time. I have better things to do. I'll spend time with my family. I'll work on other content.
But hold on a minute. How is it not worth your time though, DSP? Because you want people to have the full image of Phil. They want to know Phil. They want to know the most prolific content creator on the internet, Phil. So why would it ever be a bad idea? I don't understand, DSP. It's not making sense to me. We need to know more Phil.
Rather than sitting here uploading these videos. I used to go nuts, and I used to be like micromanaging all my streams and all of my videos, and I used to be all about the views. And I would say, oh no, views are low. What's going on? Right? I don't do that anymore. I stopped it. I stopped with that kind of stress.
Yeah.
I said, fuck it. I'm just gonna be here
I like
every day,
this Phil. This Phil was
doing my
positive
thing,
and
doing what I
cool.
do.
Somebody said.
Oh, this is from this dude's pretty funny if you want to check it out. I'm not gonna watch this right now. Majin HK, he does low tier guide impressions. That was something that my wife and I were doing the entire trip. Was we were doing a game, and it's a very fun game. Anybody can play it. Any number of people. You at any point during the conversation, one of you becomes Dale and says, "You know what I did," and then whatever they said, and then you have to create a sex narrative story with their mother or whatever. And it's a lot of fun. Oh, there's a lot of oil rigs out here. You know what? I did do an oil rig. See, your mom... Anyway. It's fun. Enjoy. But the whole lost footage thing is really stupid to me because he's doing this. I watched a little bit of it, and it's the upscaling and upresing. And it's very possible he could get banned because there's policies in place that prevent you from remonetizing the same footage, and it's done on purpose. And he could very well be banned. And then what's he gonna say? What's his approach here? How's he gonna blame that away? Yeah, of course he's gonna blame his viewers. They were asking for it. They wanted this video. So you should know better. You should know better than to do that. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna last long. I heard that he's got a team of people working on it, which means one person. It's Derek. And yeah, it's not going to last, first of all, because there's nothing to really draw people in that he wants to draw in. The only people, ironically, who would care about this shit is his detractors, because people are going to go through those videos and they're going to find moments where DSP said something awful. And of course, DSP has his little disclaimer up saying, well, that was from 1,000,000 years ago. You can't really judge me for that. I can judge you because you're putting it on the internet. I think this will be... Wait, where's the last one I wanted to do? Yeah, this one is what I wanted to end with.
Because I hate to say it, people don't want to live with the consequences of their own actions. They want to feel like they can do whatever they want, and they have absolutely no responsibility whatsoever. And that's wrong. That's not correct. That's a factually wrong statement. It doesn't matter how much you want to pretend, but the truth is there's cause and effect in life. If you behave in a certain way and you reward certain behaviors, those behaviors will continue. Dude, did you look at the fucking...
Yeah, that's evidence towards DSP being an actor. Because how can you say that? How can you say that? You, DSP, say that. DSP, how many times has he wanted no consequences for his actions? The correct answer is always. He still wants no consequences for his actions. That's why he's doing this whole stupid-ass documentary thing. It's because he wants no consequences for his actions. And I guess he convinces himself that consequences are for people who did things wrong. And I didn't do anything wrong. So, why am I facing consequences? Keep in mind, this dude, every time he's been banned from a platform or demonetized from a platform, he insists that it was their responsibility to sit down with him in some sort of capacity, email, Skype, just don't call me on my phone, okay? That's not going to work. And talk to me. Tell me why what I did was wrong. And give me a warning. DSP, you're in your mid-20s while you were doing this for the first time. Dude, I stopped getting talked to about why what I did was wrong in high school. First couple years of high school. That shit was over. By then, you were assumed you should be counted on to figure this shit out for yourself. And DSP has done this for every single time he got banned or demonetized. So you would think that after the first couple of times, okay, I did something really stupid. I got demonetized. I got banned. I'm never going to do that again. Dude still does this shit. Dude still does this crazy crap where it gets him banned. And he insists that it's not fair. I did nothing wrong. Yeah, DSP, the most innocent man in history, constantly held accountable for things he didn't do. That's wild. Yeah, every single time he got fired, it wasn't his fault. I never got fired, so that never really happened for me. But whatever. Anyway, is Scully hot? Yes. Scully was one of my first crushes as a kid. Yeah, click on the ads. YouTube unfairly said my channel had unusual click activity. Every time he tells that story, Epion, I feel secondhand embarrassment because those are the kind of stories I tried to tell my parents when I was 5 or 6. Well, see, Dad, what really happened was it wasn't because I said click on the ads. So you don't really know how YouTube works, but they actually banned me because so many people loved me that they kept clicking the ads. I had nothing really to do with that, but they did it. And then they banned me unfairly. And my dad's going to roll his eyes and say, okay, you did it. DSP really does try to sell people with 5th or 6-year-old excuses. It's crazy to me. Do I have anything else? I think that's it for me. I think I've more or less caught up on everything. Nothing really much to say about the DSP throwbacks. I think that I do have a hypothesis about the DSP throwbacks Twitter account. And the N-word slip, exactly. And he knew what he said was wrong because he immediately got defensive about it. Immediately. Big ups, Repsy. I have a theory about the DSP Twitter, the DSP throwback Twitter. And I don't think it's run by DSP. I think that someone else is running that. And the reason why I think that is, hold on, I'll bring this up. I followed it. And I expected it to be banned instantaneously. But shockingly, I'm not banned. And in fact, they followed me. So let's go to DSP throwback. Hope I don't get something stupid. God damn it. Hold on, let me... Wait, am I already banned? Holy shit. I hope I am. Oh, nah. Wait, I can't... What? I'm sorry, give me a second here. Let me... I might have actually been banned already. If that's the case, this is a hilarious epilogue to end with. Let me double check this. But yeah, I don't see how it's possible that they could... Yeah, here it is. How DSP would follow me on here. Because he's following me. Yeah, follows you. He's banned me before. He banned me on his main account. And I never spoke to the dude. So I would like to think that in some way he knows who I am. Him following me indicates to me that DSP isn't running this account. It could very well be that this is Derek or whoever intern he has stuck on this. Because why would he follow back on me? It could very well be that he has a list of people that he needs to ban right off tops, and I'm not on the list, which is pretty cool. I did nothing wrong after all. And it seems to be legit. There's nothing that indicates that it's toxic. Well, that's my Theo theory, and I hope to look into it being confirmed. Someone else is. He's sending his stuff to someone, and they should be upskilled. Yeah, okay. So yeah, they're doing the videos. I know that someone else is doing the videos. I think it's within a perfectly fine line of logic that someone else is also running his Twitter. But that's it for me for today. Thank you everyone very much. I missed you all, and I'm so happy to be back. I will say this: my attendance might be a little spotty here in the next couple weeks because just my mother-in-law's visiting and maybe they want to go somewhere or whatever. So I won't promise when I'll be here, but I'll try to be here pretty consistently. And again, she's cool. She brings me trash bags full of coffee candy. So, I don't want to risk that. But again, thank you everyone. It's been a really interesting and funny couple of days. I was on the edge of my seat. I was getting pretty hyped to get back and cover some of this stuff, especially when he was talking about, him not getting a fair shake and all that. That cracked me up. But thank you again, everyone. I'll try and be on tomorrow evening. Again, I probably shouldn't promise these things. I'll be here when I be here. I love you all. Have a great night. And thank you so much for the contributions. I love you all. You're all a bunch of heroes. And it's been a real treat to be back.